Yes, people, welcome back. Never a Foul Sunday. Already 60 of you in the building, so big up. And thank you as well, because I've not been on for ages, but it's so good to be back on. Not even from home. I'm not even going to lie. It's good to be back on, sitting next to Daps. And look what they done behind us. Cass and Daps, I'm going to say a big shout out to them, because this is looking elite. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I came in this morning and I was like, wow. So this is going to be mainly the hub where we're going to be streaming from over next season as well, especially when Daps, Castle, myself are sitting there. Obviously, big up Monts as well, part of the family as well, and everyone, all the panelists as well. But guys, make sure you smash a like, make sure you subscribe if you're new. And it's Sunday, man. Euro Fever's here already next Friday. We're going to be talking on England. We're going to be talking on a bit of like the Saka Mino situation. Yao Neves, Man United, main midfielder link, and also Liverpool, Spurs. Looking at Eze, who does he suit more? Do the clubs both want him? How much would they pay? So we're going to be talking on a lot, people. Make sure you do like and subscribe. And first of all, shout out the guys on the show as well. We've got Agal, we've got Welks, we've got Dan, we've got Mont. So of course, show them love on their channels and their platform as well. But I'll come to you, Dan, top right, bro. How are you doing so far?
Yeah, all good, mate. Pleasure to be here. I'm loving the setup, guys, by the way. It looks phenomenal. So
thank you.
Stuff.
Yeah. Daps, I know Daps woke up yesterday, was just said, right, I saw his tweet. I even liked it when I woke up and it was like, I'm going to be productive. I thought when he's on that vibe, I know it's going to be serious. And I saw that. And thank you, bro. It's good. And you see how we got I'm United this side. That's his City that side. Yeah. But we got it moving and grooving. Big up Monts as well, man. Big six bands. Obviously, Never a Foul panel or owner with us as well. Big up Monts. What you say, man? Been a long time since we streamed together, man.
Bro, I'm here, man. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Big up yourself, you know what I'm saying? Positivity train. You ended the season with a trophy. Obviously, certain man haven't been, when we're getting the back of the van, certain man should be at the back of the van. But I
haven't spoken of winning the trophy. I kept it quiet. I didn't want to return just by winning the trophy, but you know what I mean? It's good spirits, man. Big up yourself there every single time.
You should be telling man to get at the back of the van, but they haven't turned up. You haven't shown face, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Chap. Yeah, I mean, Chaps has been hiding for a little while, so I can't.
No, Chaps is good. Chaps is good. Chaps has got some personal stuff going on.
Okay, nice. Big up Chaps as well as always. Lovely guy as well.
Chaps.
Agal, man, good to see you. EGTV, how you doing, bro?
Yo, I'm doing good, man. Just chilling. Little boy's almost a year now. Got to plan that birthday. And yeah, man, summertime shine. You know what it is. I'm wearing
how old are you turning? What, 25?
Fuck. It's shining outside. What?
How old are you turning? 25?
No, it's his
son's
birthday.
Oh, his son's birthday. Oh,
yeah, 1 year.
Oh, congrats. Oh, well, obviously, birthday blessings to your son as well. Healthy. That's the main thing as well. So big up your son. And then Welks as well. Guys, if you're watching him, he's got the Palace top on. I don't know if he feels like, Eze's got him part of the Mandem community and all that. He's just trying to plant his seeds for next season. What are you saying, Welks?
No, I can't complain, people, man. Good to be here. It's been a while since I've been on stream as well, so it's good to see the Mandem back as well. Like the new setup and stuff like that. And listen, the Palace thing, if you know, you know. I ain't gonna go through it, but if you know, you know. But yeah, man, it's good to be back.
Hold on, are you claiming local team?
Yeah, South London's fine.
Listen, there's no rules. I swear the spec says that.
Right.
Listen.
Can you do that?
I'm doing
with
it.
Premier League teams go, nah, it's my local
when
team.
MK Dons come Prem, I might have to run the MK Dons kit.
But Dele Alli in there, man. But no, come on, man. Pick up the Mandem. Igal's still telling me that it's still a process. I'm just hearing Igal still saying about process. No trophies to show for it, though. But hey, Igal, you do your thing, though.
You notice how it's the insecure Liverpool fans first to speak up about Arsenal?
Well, now we're insecure. Oh, my God. But anyways, big up the Mandem, though.
You can defend yourself if you want, Igal. You know what I mean? It's a stream.
Listen, we're not here for Arsenal, are we?
Nah, we're not. Do you know what? We're not. But all I'm going to say is once that season does start in August, this is season defining for Arteta now, because I said that last year you didn't expect to challenge for the title. This year is your first title with first year of expectations, but now you're ready. So come August, we'll talk about it. But yeah, big up Don in the chat as well. I see him just say about the studios looking mad as well. Big up. Yeah, Cass and Daps were doing that yesterday, so it's ready to go, Don. Obviously, when we got the barbecue and that, people get to have a good look at it as well. So big up everyone inside. Make sure you go and check out Don's channel as well. One of the people then. But yeah, we're gonna get into it as well. That's what you saying, man. Hay fever's hitting today, isn't it?
Hay fever and hangover.
The double H, is that what we're calling it? Double H sounds like an MC name. Double H. We're gonna put double H's on the mic with me. Big up Daps as well as always. But yeah, man. We'll get into it. Obviously, I've shouted you out as well. Daps, did you enjoy making that yesterday? Just before we get into it.
Yeah. Not everyone can see what's above me. You see. So we've got loads of roads. So here's the Etihad one. and I had to pick a team to go above me. And Cass was going, it has to be one of the like big clubs.
Okay.
And he said, I've got to have.
We've got Arsenal, Anfield, United.
No, but the main one above me. Yeah. And he was telling me it had to be Liverpool or Arsenal. And I was like, nah, it can only be West Ham. It's the only club I want anywhere
and
near
I like
City.
it because you know what? I know people can't see it, but it's the colour. You know when it mixes up like burgundy goes well with like the blue with the City.
No, but what you guys have this Westchester United thing.
Yeah, bro, it's from
What do you mean
City and West Ham
United?
fans. It's a royalty thing, isn't it?
Oh, well, do they have a little like connection going on? Okay. All right, that's why. So
West Ham and Rangers.
So is that why, Gal, they played West Ham on the last day of the season? Yeah, is what we're saying.
Listen, when Declan Rice was linked to Arsenal, you had West Ham fans saying he needs to go to Man City because they have this connection.
When I went to when we played them at the start of the season, a load of West Ham fans were coming up to me in pubs saying, "We understand why he's leaving, but not to go to Arsenal."
Interesting. Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna get straight into it. Make sure you're liking the video. Big up everyone in the comments as well. If you get your super chats in, we'll make sure we read them out. Big up Shax as well. Shax OT, become a new member of the channel. So big up Shax every single time. Love for that, bro. And if you want to become a member as well, the link's there. And also for TIFO as well. If you see in the pin and if you see in the description, we're going to be doing more watch-alongs next season, but they're not going to be on Never a Foul's channel. They're going to be actually on our Never a Foul TIFO channel. So if you want to sign up, it's free, doesn't take you long at all. And then you guys can do that as well. And big up Danger as well. Yeah, it's been a while, got a new job and everything. So yeah, man, I'm just ready for the new season. Then I'll be back more consistently. So it's just nice to have a break and refresh, man. So big up Danger as well. But yeah.
What, Ten Hag in, yeah?
Yeah. Still Ten Hag in. So anyone wants to get on me in the comments, we can do a little section at the end if you want to challenge me, but still Ten Hag in. But we're going to start with Eze because he came on for England. And when he played at St. James's Park and he looked the part. I think this player is a top player. I think he's one of them players I feel like, I'm not going to say he's a cage baller because he's a very good footballer, but I feel like the players like Eze, they don't care where they're playing football. If it's under the lights in the Champions League final, if it's in the Euro semi-final, if it's Crystal Palace and the Selhurst Park Monday night, they're going to be ballers naturally. And I feel like they'll thrive on the biggest stage. Now, Michael Olise is the talk of, Crystal Palace at the moment, linked to Man United, linked to Chelsea. But the Eze talk is now starting to rise. And it's Liverpool, Tottenham, who are mainly looking at him at the moment. Now, we've obviously got two Liverpool fans in Welks and Monts. We've got Dan, who's a Spurs fan, who can, Chelsea fan, that can give it the neutral. Got me and Daps and a gal as well. I know Dan was like, don't ever call me a Spurs fan. Yeah, I love that. But we're gonna talk in it because Eze's a great footballer, right? But it's like, where does he fit in more? Do Liverpool fans want him? Do Spurs believe they can actually get him, and will they pay that money? Once I'll come to you. Are you first as a Liverpool fan? What are you thinking on this Eze situation?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed because obviously this is no longer a clock ball, obviously. So this whole 4-3-3-1-6-2-8 might not be a thing anymore. So if we're gonna like kind of transition to this kind of 4-2-3-1 system, then having two midfielders on the pivot, and that allows us to have a 10. We haven't played in the 10 for a long time. Like
Coutinho?
I'd say the last,
Coutinho last one?
Coutinho was a 10, but bro, as soon as he played left wing, he actually plays the inside forward on the left, so he drifted out to the left quite a lot. Even though he was kind of like I'd say he's the last like proper natural 10. Obviously, you could probably say Fabio Carvalho, but he liked kissing grass more than kicking the ball for the club. So listen, if we're gonna go and get a 10, I feel like it is that like Eze is a great option to have, especially playing 4-2-3-1. Now, my thing is that what happens to kind of like the Harvey Elliott's who looks like they might have had a chance to maybe start in the 10. Was Salah ever going to go central? Was that ever going to be a thing? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think Eze is an excellent option. And remember, Eze can still play as a left inside forward as well. So it doesn't mean the end of the world for a Harvey Elliott. It doesn't mean the end of the world for Curtis Jones or any of those guys who you might not want to stunt their growth. So just from a positional standpoint, I think it makes complete sense. I don't think 60 to 68 million is a crazy price for Prem to Prem.
What's he at 27? Is he 26 now? 26?
He's 26. Yeah, he's 26.
Yeah,
I think 60 million, he's in his prime. I think if he can keep himself fit, it's a good signing. I don't think he's going to be pressing ultra hard, but he's got legs on him as well. He's again set piece threat. I just think it's an overall good signing, and I think it's the perfect time for him to make a step up. And if he does choose Liverpool and Liverpool are able to get the deal over the line, I don't think anyone's going to be looking at that thinking, oh, that's a shit deal. I think looking at that going, Liverpool-esque kind of signing. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Do you think it fits in with what your new manager is going to do, Welks? Because obviously he's coming from Feyenoord. He might change the approach. Liverpool, as we know, when they've been battling City over the last 5-6 years, 4-3-3 has been the more tradition. As not saying Eze can't play in a 4-3-3. You could put him in as an 8 as a midfielder. You could play him on the left-hand side and cutting in onto his right foot. But do you see your manager now, if he's looking at potentially a number 10, he's going to change the approach, go with more a number 10 now and switch it from the 4-3-3? And is Eze your number one target if that was the case?
It should be. It should be everyone's sort of target when you have someone like Eze. You know, he's someone at Palace right now. You are looking, if you're Eze right now, you're looking for a big move and you want some top teams to look at you. And I think for Liverpool, for Arne Slot, it looks like a match made in heaven. Obviously, I echo the sentiment of what Mons is saying about, I do think about the Curtis Jones, I do think about the Harvey Elliott's, I do think about the Fabio Carvalho's, I do think of the Tyler Mortons, I do think about the Mo Salah's. But I think this is a new, when you bring a player like Eze in, he's talent in it, and you want to exercise those talent to the next sort of level. So when you've got a new manager and it's a new setting, so it's a new base for everybody, you want to bring an Eze. But I just don't want it to that's the only thing, because I don't think we're in a crazy sort of rebuild. That's what people might sort of assume. I don't think we do have.
No, you did your rebuild last year, innit?
Sorry?
You did your rebuild last year, didn't you?
Yeah, more or less. And I still believe it was for a rebuild for what Klopp did to manage for Arne Slot. You know, I don't want to. I think of Szoboszlai. I think of McAllister as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
Gravenberch. People would forget him. Second season syndrome.
Exactly. So, and you know, Arne Slot, I think he's very experimental. You know, he might have been surprised us. He might play Gravenberch in a 10. You don't know, kind of thing. So you might say that, but like, it's just, I think it's such a drastic change. This is a new manager that's coming with a new sort of tactics, and we've got a good crop of players there as well. So as much as I like the idea of Eze, we still have to think of our current team as well, because you know, we are still a buy and sell club. Does that mean we get Eze and we sell someone? And who do we sell? So, and then because
I think that's the thing that I'm interested about with Liverpool the most. What Edwards does.
Yeah,
like
I'm not even manager. I don't really care about Slot too much. It's what Edwards will do. Yeah, do we get a DM? Do we get a left-footed centre back? Those are the key areas. As much as Eze is a name to say, come on, like it's Eze and Elise. Most teams are going to be saying on the whispers. But it's what we really need. That's the question. And that's for me, a DM and a centre-back. Eze is a luxury.
Yeah, I hear that. I find that sometimes when City get linked with players in positions I don't feel we need, like the prime one was Messi, when we used to get linked with Messi. And I'd be like, but we need a centre-back. Yeah. Why? We spent a whole summer chasing someone we didn't even need. Then we nearly missed out on a centre-back. So I hear what you're saying.
It's crazy when I think about that saga, actually. I went on a long time. It feels like it just slipped the wind.
And the Kane one, sometimes it's not good when you get caught up in a big saga, like you man are with Ten Hag at the moment.
Yeah, which is true. And I think you guys make some good points, because when I look at it now, I always think Gravenberch. I always think a lot of players, when they come to the Premier League, I always give them the second season syndrome. And that's going to be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and then, like you said, you got Morton coming back from Hull. You got Harvey Elliott, who I actually think last year, when I talk about players that came on off the bench, made an impact, for example, the Crystal Palace away game last year when he came on, scored 2. I think Harvey Elliott is kind of the deputy now to Mo Salah. I feel like that's his position at the moment. But also, he can play in that number 8 role. But when you look at Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, them two as my main examples, I look at them as number 8s. You know, Szoboszlai works hard. Gravenberch is an up and down as well, box-to-box player. Both of them I look at as like sort of box-to-box players. If I have a number 10, I do like my number 10s to be like Egalsman, Odegaard. I do like him to be like Dax's guy, David Silva. You know, I like them sort of number 10s that are going to thread the passes through the pockets. And this is why, we'll talk about it later, but like Bellingham, for example, if you said that Gravenberch was to play 10, I look at him being more like a Bellingham at Real Madrid, where they're more like box crashers. They're not technically amazing. They're going to thread them nice passes through. They're going to arrive on the end of things, get on the end of things, maybe with their physicality.
I'd say Gravenberch.
No, he's more techie than Bellingham. Do you get what I mean?
But he's not like a final pass guy. He ain't got a final pass like that. But he's definitely techie on the half turn. And
no, you can get on a half turn. He can gallop and ball carry a bit like how Pogba used to do it as well. But they're just not them proper number 10s. And it's like, if you then get Eze, what happens to them type of players? Because I don't feel like Szoboszlai is going to really play in a pivot, especially if you're linked to that Edison from Atalanta. It would be Edison and McAllister, for example. I feel like Gravenberch can play in a pivot more than Szoboszlai. So it is going to be interesting if you did go for Eze, like Welks is saying. It's a bit luxury, because how do you make it all fit in? when you look at it, Dan, do you look at it and say Spurs are interested? They've got James Maddison, who also is a natural number 10. He's in his prime age, as you could say. Yes, the second half of the season he fell a bit short after the injury, but then if Eze went there, it's like, do they move Son further forward and then they play Eze off the left, or do you see him competing with Maddison in the 10? I just think like both clubs are interested, which is rightly so because he's a very good player. But I just don't know if he actually fits any of them right now. What do you think on it, Dan, as a neutral?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I struggle to see where Eze's next club is, mainly on fit into a system. I kind of agree with Welks that he is as good as he is. And don't get me wrong, you're bang on saying he's a street baller, a cage baller, because I definitely think he's one of the rarities in the Prem with that. Especially, it's like a dying art form, really. I feel like there's not too many players coming through like that anymore, which is a shame because they're the players you like to watch. They're the creatives. I feel like it's so harsh to say, and obviously he can go to a better level, but Palace right now is perfect for him in terms of being the main man, being the guy that will be able to have the freedom. If he goes to any of these bigger teams, I'm worried that he'll lose it. Like, please don't let Pep get hold of him. I said this the other day. Like, I think Pep will stifle him bad, and I just don't want to see it. I feel like if he goes Liverpool,
I can't see him or SA or Elise come and see this summer.
I think Elise would fit into the.
Yeah, but I don't think
like a Mares type of replacement.
I'm pretty confident City won't be in.
I just don't. I don't want to see either of them go to City, to be honest, because look at Greenish was like a rebel and like a drop, like he'd drive with the ball and he'd make things happen. And now he ain't even in the England squad because he's lost all of that. Do you know what I mean? And Eze is basically one of his replacements. Go on,
but
Dan.
come on, let's be real though, Dan. He's not in the England team because this season he's had injuries and he's ultimately not control his partying. Like, let's be real. It's not because if he was playing for City like he was playing last season, he'd be in this England team now.
I don't disagree, and I think the issue is, isn't it, with someone like Jack, and we can talk about the press a little bit if we're going to get onto that, but the English press will kill anyone they can get their hands onto, build them up, bring them back down. We've seen it with everyone, and they're lethal and they're bullies, to put it simply. But in all seriousness, I think they got onto that party and it never got let go. It was in the public eye, and it's just
he's had a lot this season with Grealish. Ultimately, it's injury. The injury came after the Copenhagen game in February.
20 minutes. I remember you said that was the best 20 minutes you played the season. But
that time there was bad with the house being robbed, and also his form dropped off at the start of the season because he was partying. That is factual.
Yeah, he didn't come in, did he, flying because of that reason. He had a great summer, but you can't blame him as well, can you? Because that's like achieving your dreams and like way off of football. But Tyson Fury speaks on that heavily, doesn't he? In his life, is that he achieved his dreams and then didn't know what to do next.
Do you do? Yeah,
exactly right. So I don't blame Jack, and hopefully he can get back on the right path. Whether that's a move, whether that's just Pep refreshing him, different position, maybe through the middle, something like that.
So Pep said, I think it was before the Fulham game, that this season's a write-off, but I need you back to your best next season. Now with this kick up the arse, I think this is what Jack needs, because next season's massive for him.
Yeah. And he's got the summer off now.
Yeah. He's in Dubai now partying.
Yeah, probably he has to.
I can't lie though. Let's be real.
If he doesn't get his act together by next season, his time at City is done, and he's gonna probably have to go back down to lower leagues or get that ticket.
Lower leagues.
That is a mad statement.
One second, relax. I didn't mean lower leagues, like lower different, like I meant lower.
So basically, back to like where Aston Villa are, stuff like that.
Aston Villa or something like that. I could see him maybe go to another team in the top 6, but it won't be as competing for the league. Relax, guys. I didn't mean Division 1 or something.
Quickly, but now, Danny, I think you made it.
I'm still trying to get used to some of these.
No, I think he should stay at Palace. I think under the new man, and even with Elise, I think just not yet as well, because I think that everyone, especially with FFP coming into fold as well, would they want to break a bank for sort of like an Eze? I think Glasner with because I've been watching obviously a lot of Crystal Palace. They've got their new midfielder Camacho. I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but from Napoli, he's a good player.
Kamada,
manager. Yeah, the manager
I like
there, he's doing some great things. The back end of the season for Palace has been good as well. And like you said, Dan, he can still be the main man. And it still helps Palace. If they can keep hold of him, build up his season, he has a good tournament, has a good season with Palace, get some extra money for him, a couple, 20, 30 mil on top of that. 100%. And there you can have, I look at Eze and Elise, get Palace in the Europa League or something, or Conference League. Then you can leave on a high. give them some more money as well, and then Palace can sort of rebuild under this sort of great manager, because this manager at Palace, he's a good manager, and I think we should be wary of Palace as well. So I think you want to have those sort of players there. So I think even with an Elise and Eze, because I think right now, I think with both of them, I don't see where they suit in each sort of team. Yes, there'll be great assets to the team. I'm not disputing that. But it's just how we're going to see, especially because there's a lot of change that's happening in the Premier League. I think people really want to settle with their team right now because everybody's on sort of rebuild sort of phase as well. And sometimes adding too much pieces can sort of disrupt that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
it can.
With Palace, I think they've got a good thing going on. I think you would like to keep an Eze. I think with their ownership, I think they should try to keep Eze and Elise. Get Chik Doucouré back fitness as well.
Yeah, big
Mateta's playing well as well. Sell Edward, get another sort of striker as well. Get probably a lone player like a Fabio Carvalho probably. Then boom, you can ball out over there.
No, but this is what Crystal Palace do. They do sell a lot of their players, and somehow they find ways to replace.
They didn't sell Zaha.
I was going to say that.
Zaha. That's my beef with Palace at the moment.
I'm saying when somebody's wanted and they're able to get top dollar, they're going to sell. If that
Wilf was wanted. Come on.
If that person is not top wanted and people aren't willing to pay the price that they set, he's going to end up staying. In my opinion, the only way he ends up leaving is if Liverpool or Spurs stop the negotiations and they just trigger the release clause. Because unless the release clause triggered,
true.
Unless the release clause triggered, I don't see anybody getting him for a discount deal. Crystal Palace are not desperate to sell. That's my point. We've seen the whole Zaha point. We've seen everything before. If a player is wanted by another club and that club is willing to go above and beyond to sign him, like OLISE, you're going to potentially get that move. But right now, I just don't see as many suitors interested in Eze the same way that they're interested in
Elise. Yeah, and I feel like out off the back of your point, you got like right wingers right now, and I feel like touchline right wingers cutting on their left foot. Like Elise, it's like it is like an essential. You kind of want that in your team, and I think what you make a good point of as well is that with Crystal Palace, they're in a position a bit like where we're just touching on Jack Grealish, for example, Aston Villa. Now we all knew that Jack Grealish is not a £100 million player. We probably would have said, okay, back then, maybe a 65 million pound player, still a good fee. And that's what Villa probably would have been like, yeah, okay, I understand it. But it's how important them players are to that team. And when you look at Eze and when you look at Elise, they're two of the most important players for that team. So the Palace demanding a huge fee for Elise makes sense because he's so vital for them. For them to get Eze and sell him, they'd want a big fee. And that's exactly the same how Aston Villa approached it with Grealish. He was their prize asset. He was the guy that was ball carrying, winning loads of fouls, creating, scoring, and having that sort of free role to do what he wanted to do. And that's why they demanded such a big fee. And I feel like clubs, like a guy was saying, can then demand big fees. And I think one thing is with Palace as well is that right now we've all come to the agreement that, okay, we look at Liverpool and it's like, okay, Eze's a great player, but where does he fit in? We look at Spurs with Maddison and maybe he could fit into there a bit more, but also where it's not like he's a natural starter in that number 10 role. And when you see it with Glasner, he plays a 3-4-3 and he's got Elise, Eze, and Mateta, and it's kind of like in a little triangle. And none of them are out wide now. They're kind of like in the they're both basically playing number 10 is how I look at Elise and Eze. And he's got a formation that absolutely fits them down to a T so they can get the best out of each other. Now, if I'm Palace, and I'm the owner, why would you want to sell both of your prize assets in the same window? What you do is you sell one, which is probably going to be Michael Elise, because he was linked to a move to City and Chelsea last summer. So we knew it was inevitable this year. He's got a release clause. And then next year, then you sell Eze. And then, you're like, right, we replace Michael Elise this summer, get us a Somerville, for example, from Leeds. And then next year, right, Eze's going to go. Then we've got a year to then get another midfielder in. And I think if Crystal Palace is smart, that's what you'll do. And Eze would say,
Crystal Palace in for Somerville?
No,
I know there've been links, for example.
There's been links.
They can have Madueke if we get Elise, though. I don't mind.
Do you know what?
That's a shout, though, isn't it? That's a shout.
You are a G. I said this to my boy.
I said,
if
Palace,
Elise goes, Madueke, the hair, the flair, it rhymes. But you know what I'm saying? South London, like...
Yeah, he is South London as well, isn't he, Madueke?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I think that the way he's played towards the back end of this season just gone, Madueke's kind of not cemented himself as a Chelsea player, but he's kind of given them enough now to say, I can play at this club. But
is he on crazy wages?
Perfect. I don't think so.
Nah, no one that's come in on the new ownership at Chelsea is going to be on crazy wages. And do you know what? Yeah, Palace don't mind wages. They respect loyalty as well. Zaha was on a packet, by the way.
Look at Ayew. Even Jordan Ayew, he's on his package is nice.
They're
Ayew as
driving
well.
Lambos around Croydon,
Yeah.
like they're on a lot of
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Big pause today.
Yeah, no, for
Package
sure.
is nice, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I do hear you, man, and I think
It depends of the campaign that Eze has, though. I think if Euros will always,
Yes,
this is always a
facts, bro.
tournament where if you do well this tournament, it adds a couple sort of money onto your case, kind of thing. So it depends if Gareth Southgate, who's a fraud, will actually play someone like an Eze who's just using them for sort of clout. But nevertheless, we'll see. Innit? He looks good in this England setup as well. But obviously, we've got to touch on the England thing, but it depends if Eze gets as a good sort of campaign during the Euros. And I can't lie, Man United. Listen, if you're the club of what you used to be, I think you would have went for Eze.
Yeah,
you would have went for an Eze. You can need
United's the team where I
the
feel
words
like
out
he
my
could
mouth.
fit in the most, don't you think? Like,
yeah,
with the
maybe
Bruno
without Ten
speculation
Hag.
as well, and you're thinking like Bruno's obviously going to the Euros, but apparently
if you have Eze under Tuchel, oh my gosh, do you know what Eze as well? He needs like a good manager as well. That's the thing as well. I want a right sort of manager.
Yeah,
as well.
they've got Ten Hag.
Nah, Ten Hag will start. Well, Eze will play wing back. I'll tell you that for free.
No. Come on, it's not that deep. Do you know what? If it was me, I was actually going to say it as well and see especially what Daps thinks as well, a gal and stuff. On if Bruno left Man United, I think Eze would be perfect for us because we would actually be then needing a number 10. Man United
He'd be better.
He'd be better. And also, Mons, when you look at Man United's midfield, okay, Cobby's young, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on him, but you can see on the half turn, he can ball carry over that sort of 6 to 10 yards and take you into the other half of the pitch. But Bruno can't dribble with the ball. Bruno is sort of get the ball, and he's going to play a great through ball. He's going to get on the end of things. Bruno's not going to dribble past players, and do all that sort of get you to the other side of the pitch. I look at Eze, and Man United actually really lack ball carriers, and he can create. He can score, he can ball carry as well. So if Bruno is looking at it now at 29 and he's like, I want to leave and go to a Bayern or Barcelona, for example, Eze would fit like a glove because the money we would get for Bruno, let's be real, I'm not going to do all this £100 million stuff. It's not going to happen, even though Saudi might want to pay that. Bruno, you probably get 65 million for. Yeah, let's say that.
How old is he?
29.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I thought he was older than that.
And he wants his last big contract as well. So let's say we sold Bruno Fernandes. I'd definitely be all over Eze. What would you, man, say on that? What do you think that's on that?
You need a new manager. I don't want to talk about ballers going to your club under Ten Hag. I'm not.
But you were originally a fan of Ten Hag, and
I was.
What's made you turn on him? Not saying you're not a United fan, but what's made you feel like he's definitely not the man to get new signings in and take this club forward now?
Last season,
yeah,
multiple things. I think ultimately, man management is a thing. I know some players down tools. It's his job to make sure they don't down tools. Press conferences, it's just the size of the club is too big, he can't handle it. And also last season when I watched you, like it looked like your players weren't being trained. They look like England ultimately. Like that's the best comparison I can do. When you've got all these ballers that are balling out for their clubs, you put them together at England and none of them know where to go. They're running around like headless chickens. And that's what I see from you, man. I just think Ten Hag, last season I learned two things. I was wrong about Ten Hag. And I guess in a way I was wrong about Liverpool last season because I thought Liverpool were going to do a cup treble. So,
yeah, it's a hard one, guys, man. Make sure you are smashing the like, by the way. I just see that as well. Ilyas, yep. 600 of you here, Sunday afternoon. The big up everyone watching as well. Look at the new setup we've got behind here. We've got Dan in the building. We've got Mons, Gal, Welks. Please just hit that like button because it costs nothing. All it is just hitting that thumbs up and it helps us reach new audiences as well as we're on our way to 25k. So please make sure you do hit that like button. Also, check out the TIFO as well down below. It takes literally 1 minute to sign up for the TIFO, and that is where we're going to be doing watch-alongs next season. So it's not going to be on the YouTube channel. It's actually going to be via TIFO, but it's going to be the Never a Foul setup there. So if you want to see reactions, up and downs, mood swings, that is the place to be next
mood
season.
swings, you know.
In it, you know what I mean? A lot of mood swings on there.
Can I just say one thing? So yesterday on our show, we had, I think it was yesterday or the day before, we were talking about Alvarez to Chelsea, yeah? And I was saying my reasons why I don't think it will happen. However, yeah, if they do, Nkunku, Alvarez, Cole Palmer.
No Sterling in there now. You think he's
No.
If
If Nkunku keeps fit, that three.
Yeah.
Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia. If Lavia. Bro, that could cook, you know. That could really cook.
Is that getting you excited, Dan?
I think the squad could excite me. Just in general, I think the squad could have done better than what it did potentially this season under Poch. I think there was too many issues where Pochettino was at fault for the result. I'm just not excited about Maresca. Like people,
You're not.
I'm not. Nah, I'm not excited about it. I feel like we talk about all these good managers, all these managers that can take teams to the next level and stuff. And for me, there's just not enough evidence with Maresca to prove that he can do that. But look, if I'm wrong or I haven't got excited enough for it, like fair enough. If they get that right, then absolutely spot on. Hopefully, with the squad, I think they're really ambitious. They just need it all to click with the right person. I just don't know if Maresca is that guy.
But the only thing is done is that I feel like, especially how we've gone through that striker era at the moment, you know, we've been speaking about strikers the last couple of years. You know, the strikers we grew up on, there's nothing like that now in terms of options out there. When you look at managers we all grew up on as well, you look at Ancelotti, you look at, you know, Jose Mourinho, and kind of they're the last ones of the era we grew up on. Again, now it's a new pool of managers. You've got Arne Slot going to Liverpool. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but it's one of them ones where, just like us, Liverpool fans are saying, will it work out? Will it not? And whatever manager Man United go for, whether it's a Tuchel or a Pochettino or whatever, it's like, will it work out? Will it not?
Or if Ten Hag stays.
Yeah, or Ten Hag stays, which I hope he does. But with Chelsea and going from Maresca, it could have been one of these other managers. Like, you got a Poch last year and it didn't work out for the 3/4 of the season. Then you got better towards the end. I feel like we're in a generation now of new managers just coming up. Company's gone buying. That's another perfect example. Failed in terms of keeping Burnley up, but everyone can see the principles of what he wants to do with football. So Bayern, they're giving him a chance. But Bayern fans, I bet if we spoke to them, they're going to be like, okay, let's see how it goes. They're not ultimately going to be like, yeah, we're going to win this, we're going to do that. So I feel like whatever manager you went for, do you not feel, Dan, you would have been like, I'm unsure anyway? Or was there someone clearly for you out there that you're like, yeah?
I think with this ownership so far, I don't think I'd be sure with any manager because I don't know where they're heading. I expected them to be patient with Poch, and I think they were in terms of results. I think they were just two people on different pathways in terms of what they both wanted for the squad. So, yeah, I hear what people are saying about the managerial pool, but then would it not have been smarter to just stick with Pochettino and maybe back in with one player, two players, and go, look, we've backed you. We've not spent a lot of money on you, but let's see what happens. Look, I was Poch out and he made a lot of mistakes, but ultimately, I think the one thing Chelsea Football Club needs right now, especially under this new ownership that have created nothing stable whatsoever, is stability. And I feel like another sacking just wasn't needed at Chelsea if the results were mediocre and sick fifth for another season to allow a bit of stability to come in to assess the squad. Chelsea still don't know their best 11 potentially coming in with a new manager under Maresca. So, look, it's exciting. The squad's exciting. I feel like they need to get the right man. A lot of people are telling me Maresca is the right man, but I'm hearing he plays without a 10. And there's an argument that can potentially suggest that Cole Palmer's best position,
sort of up and down.
Yeah, but Cole Palmer's best position might be as a 10. And now we've hired a manager who don't even play a system where the number 10 is in his system.
But bear in mind, he's coming to the Prem. He might change. That's why sometimes I don't really get.
I hope so. Well,
like, you know, only Slot playing a certain formation or this manager plays a certain formation. When they come to the Prem, it's completely different. Klopp came in as well, played a sort of different sort of formation that he did at Dortmund. And like I said, I agree with Ty. Like, look at Thiago Motta. Like, former player of PSG, he went to Juventus as well, and I think he's great as well because he was getting his little praise. Seth Fabregas Bologna, as well. It's another person.
Yeah, Fabregas has got his team back in, got his team up into Serie A now. Yeah,
exactly. And I just agree with Ty. I think right now it's a risk of managers that is it's a transitional stage for managers.
Yeah.
And I think
you've just got to find the right one to make it.
Then you'll be like, oh, the Marescas of this world, the Arne Slots of this world. Oh, look at Thiago Motta. He's now made a move to the Premier League. Xabi Alonso now is managing Real Madrid. It's one of those ones, I think, and Xabi Alonso is one of those now in this new era, the pinnacle of trusting a sort of a new manager. And look what he's done at the Bundesliga. Vincent Kompany can actually probably cook at Bayern Munich. Do you get what I'm saying?
You can see he's a good coach. Yeah,
at Chelsea. And you've guys got the players. I do think, and I think you've got a good sort of manager. I think everybody's taking a risk now, and that's because the great managers of our time are just, slowly fading. It's that sort of transitional. It's a new era of football. You can see it with the players as well. We talk about play. That's what players that can play in hybrid sort of roles, inverted. These are the sort of new language that you use in football. It's all new nowadays. Do you feel me? So the likes of the Mullers are they kind of fading away. You got the Kobe Mainers. Look at Adam Wharton at Blackburn. Crystal Palace, and now he's in the England squad.
I know.
Like, do you know how crazy that is? Do you get what I mean? And especially in this era of football, wow, that's mad praise. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think the thing is, just think about all the stars. Just think about all the stars going into this Euros. Not many of them are old school, like old school players from years ago. Majority of them are the new school. Germany's being led by who? Musiala and
Florian Wirtz.
Wirtz.
Yeah.
And those guys. Yeah.
Hoffman.
You go to England, it's Harry Kane, Foden, and Saka. You go to France, it's Mbappe. Who else?
Well, obviously France have got Griezmann, Mbappe, and
Griezmann's still there from the old guard.
Yeah,
Conte might be starting actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, Conte, that's just a legend in the making. You've got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's going to be starting.
If you told me that Zidane could come back and play football,
Conte balled out the other day, like the way he just intercepts and he just gets around the pit. And but sorry, that's as well.
I was just going to say, I feel with the managers, like you've got the era with Messi and Ronaldo, and the levels of them, right? I feel like with the manager thing at the moment, you need you've got your Ancelotti, you've got your Pep, you've got your Klopp. I'm trying to think of any. You've got, I guess, Jose, but he's dropped off a bit. But because of, especially in the Premier League, because of how dominant Pep has been, and then Klopp as well, that it's hard to judge players because the trophies have all been picked up by certain managers. Like even look at Ancelotti, and it's like a new era of managers are coming through. And until probably Pep leaves the Premier League, it's difficult. I'll say it about Arteta. I know Arsenal fans are going into next season based on this season and last season thinking, look, we can challenge again. But this whole thing of if Arteta doesn't win it, he's got to go. Is anyone actually thinking Arteta has done that bad a job if he doesn't win the league?
He
over
pushed
Pep?
City and Pep the last day.
And he's being judged on basically who he's up against, which isn't fair.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good point. What do you think on that, again?
When we try to say this rhetoric, you guys try and not hear it.
Who's you guys?
Oh
not
my
me, bro.
days! Oh,
yeah, but do you know that? No, do you know what it is, Welks?
Different flavor of the week for Arsenal.
Do you know what it is, Welks? Do you know what it is? Yeah, because your fan base, after the first time you went head to head with City, you were claiming Klopp is better
that's what
than
we were
Pep.
saying. That we was trying to say this argument, and you guys were not hearing it from us.
We
We
were
were
trying to say Klopp is better than Pep. That's
that.
what we're trying to say.
Oh my god! Okay, carry on. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
but I'll be real. Like you said, the difference is Welks. The difference is that your fan base weren't doing that. You were saying Klopp is better than Pep. That's what you lot were saying.
That's right. Listen.
Okay.
Welks, I'll say this from now. The reason I'm not fighting this battle is because we see the rhetoric today is that City are ruining football. But when they stopped us from doing the quad, it was they saved football. From then, kept out.
Yeah.
From then,
fair enough.
The whole world came together and said City saved football. Now they're the big bad. They're the big bad boss.
You guys know why I said Liverpool fans are insecure.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I don't need to. Okay. Right.
What? Once. So
let's talk about England,
do you think?
Can we talk about
England?
England?
Daps is wrong? Let me ask you categorically.
Okay, sorry.
Do you think Daps is? That's right, folks. It's cool now. We're all chatting, isn't it? Do you think Daps is wrong for saying that Arteta is being a bit harshly judged because it is against Pep and because he pushed them last year to the last day of the season, and if they don't win it next year, like Daps is saying, there's going to be some people that are saying, "Oh, Arteta needs to go because I haven't won the league." It feels like you disagree, and if you do, then explain.
I think it's because it's his. I think if you're saying because it's his first actual job, then I kind of hear it. I kind of hear it in terms of, in his first job, 5 years down the line, he's now competing with Pep. I think sometimes there is that rhetoric of if Pep wasn't here, Arteta would have had 2 Prems, Klopp would have had 4 Prems, probably Chelsea would have maybe had another. Like, what I'm saying, that there would have been more Premier League to win. But the fact is, the league is the league, and we're here. And the league is the league, man. You know what I'm saying? Same way, it's unfair for someone who's good for a team as good as City to be dominating the Prem. At the same time, if you go and beat them, the flowers are unprecedented that you would get. If you get over the line, the flowers
it's like even bigger.
Yeah. It's even. You know what I'm saying? It works both ways because nothing's been won yet. Man, they don't see the light of if you.
But what did they say? One second.
And that's Months. That's what I'm saying.
What did they say when you beat City?
Months cook, man. Yeah.
But what they moved the goalpost. What did they say when you beat City?
What do you mean? Oh, bro, they said it was the COVID Prem, but bro, I don't. But that's from a personal standpoint. I don't care about COVID Prem.
Yeah, real talk.
Bro,
yeah,
the league. Anyone with sense would know the league was wrapped up before fans left the stadium. 27 games, 26 wins, 1 draw, no losses. League was done.
I know, but my point is people are going to move the goalpost. If City don't win the league this year and Pep leaves, their excuse there's going to be an excuse made. They won it so many times.
Do you think I got this? And this is why when you say we're insecure, it doesn't compute with me, because you see when you talk about goalposts, you see when Klopp lifted that prem, you think I gave a fuck about the goalposts. All I know is 20 years time, you think people are gonna look at Liverpool's prem and you're gonna see COVID, you're gonna see this, you're gonna see the fastest team to ever win the league.
Because the truth is,
Liverpool 2019-2020 won the league, bro. You know
it's banter. When someone does well, every other team try and find it's copium in it a way to downplay.
You've got to find your way to do that, bro.
Well, I had George telling me yesterday, Monts, that Tottenham's kit releases are elite or something like that. Yeah, I was like, all right, kit release FC. Yeah, if that's the trophy you want, everyone wants something. And the thing to downplay Liverpool was, there were no fans in the ground.
Yeah, first one in 30 years is about time. Like, remember that one? First one in 30 is about time you won the league. You know, all of that stuff. Yeah. We weren't hearing, you won the league against the mighty City, that you blew the mighty City out the water, bro. At the end of the day, it's, as you said, rival fans are always going to move the goalposts. I'm not going to sit here. And if we win the league next year, they'll say, oh, well, you know, they're going to move the goalposts if we win the league anyway. That's what you call insecure. That is insecure, bro. Just go and win the fucking league. Get it done first.
Yeah. But what you said there is exactly what I was ultimately saying, Monsieur, that you said if someone goes and wins the league apart from City, they'll get their flowers. And that's what I'm saying about the manager thing. That at the moment, someone needs to come through and ultimately do that. Then they'll be given the flowers, yeah. Whereas at the moment, we don't know because Pep's dominating it. So every other manager's kind of being seen as underwhelming. Where it's like,
I think it's a good point. You
made, I hear in that sort of sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I hear that.
It does. Yeah, it's just that obviously we're all like, I know Man United are not competing, but so say Liverpool and Arsenal, you're the top two competing at the moment. It's hard because obviously you are coming alongside Pep. But let's not get it twisted. If Pep announces, say in November this year, okay, this is my final season, a bit like how Jurgen Klopp announced in March that he was going, deep down, Arsenal Liverpool fans are definitely gonna have a 10% kick up the arse and be like, yeah, I'm happy about it. Of course you will. Like, we'll be lying if we didn't.
And I think
because we feel like we've got a better chance.
You will be too, as a Manchester United fan.
I'm not lying. Of course I am. Our biz has been coming here to
challenge. Hold on.
Our biz has been coming to that.
United challenging.
I don't think we'll be challenging.
No, everyone's going to be happy.
Even though we beat them in a one-off game in the FA Cup, Biz, who's our boy, big up Biz, he's been coming here to Daps' yard for the last 2-3 years. And everything he always says when we get in a little battle or Daps winds him up, he goes, the day that Pep leaves, I am going to be coming here much more regularly because he knows the effect of what, you know, Pep can have on the league and stuff. And look,
you know something? Pep Guardiola has been the most influential manager of the past couple decades because of how he's impacted each league when he went into each league. The Spanish league, he went in there, Barcelona raised their level. The Spanish team dominated European European football and the world stage. Germany won the World Cup when Pep was over there, and the German team, the Bayern team, the Bayern team continued to keep their dominance.
But who stopped him? Who stopped him one time though? Who stopped him one time?
What?
Who stopped him one time? Who was the manager that stopped him?
Twice.
Listen, I'm also speaking about then you go to England. Then you go to England. It's not a coincidence that England are having their golden era in football. Like when it comes,
really?
Yes, they haven't won anything yet.
We just lost to Iceland, bro.
Yes, they haven't won anything yet. But the products that are being brought out and the quality that's being brought out is also linked to the quality of the league. And the league has been raised. The level in the league has been raised. You see City winning consistent league titles. You see them producing players like Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, all these guys coming through consistently. And then you go to the managerial side of things. He's producing all these top managers across the world. You go to Chelsea's club. You go to Arsenal. You go to Manchester United with Ten Hag. You go to Bayern Munich. You go to Barcelona just recently. Pep Guardiola, as much as people want to make fun of City and make fun of Pep and make fun of all these jokes, the guy is literally the modern day Johan Cruyff. That's what he is.
Yeah. He's produced a lot of children. That's what I call it.
And Cruyff
taught him. Yeah. So he's taken what he's learned from him and he's brought it to the modern era.
Can I? So that's a good segue because I think we want to talk on England.
I'm just going to super chat quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because big up Michael as well for the super chat. He says Elise, Chelsea, Eze, Spurs. In my opinion, Elise isn't even top 5 Premier League right wingers. Salah, Saka, Bernardo, Kudus, Diaby, Bailey, Neto are all better. That, by the way, I think City might get Musiala. By the way, I'm gonna have to respond to this. And great super chat because this is what opinions are about. Dan's smiling as well. when you look at it, obviously Elise potentially could go Chelsea, Dan, but I am not having Kudus, Diaby, Bailey, and
No, I
Neto,
think Kudus.
unfortunately with the injury.
I'd have Kudus.
Diaby turning up. You're not having Kudus.
No. Over Elise? No, I'm not.
Wow,
yeah,
I am all day long.
Wow.
Probably would have Kudus.
Oh, this is a good debate. Like, I'm not. I'm having Elise.
Kudus.
I'm having Elise.
I'm taking Kudus.
And I'm having Elise. No disrespect, I really like Bernardo and I rate Bernardo, but as a right winger,
I
am having Elise
different
because
roles,
I think he can, different roles and different types of players. I look at Elise as more of like a Mares, but yeah, Dan, I think if Elise goes Chelsea, I'm having him over a lot of these players in this list.
So I'd probably say Salah, Bernardo, Kudus, Elise, Saka would be my order.
What about Bowen?
And then Bowen's a shout for output.
Wait, whoa,
Micah, you started something.
Rewind. You think Elise is better than Saka?
No. What, Elise better than Saka?
You think he's better than Saka?
Yes, in a heartbeat, yeah. He is.
Fair enough. Why is he better?
That's outrageous.
1 second. Why is he better?
Is it wild though? Is it wild? No, Dan. Yeah, Dan.
Explain your thought process. Why do you think he's better?
Explain it. It might not be wild.
I think Elise is better than Saka. I had this discussion literally the other day about Cole Palmer being better than Saka. Like, I honestly, I think Saka's a really good player. I think he's a very, very good player. By no means am I suggesting that Saka's a bad player here. But what I'm saying is that Elise, for his games that he's played this season, what is it, like 19 games, 16 GA? Like, that's a better output than Saka. Ooh. Is that right? I think that's right.
Yeah, but Dan, eye test.
I'm giving it to Elise every day of the week. I think Elise has things to his game that Saka just doesn't have, to be honest with you. I think Elise is deadly coming in on that left foot. It's almost like a guaranteed shot on target most of the time.
But let's be honest. Listen, I hear you. Let's be honest. But Saka can do that as well.
Look, I'm not saying Saka's a bad player, by the way.
Doesn't do it enough.
Yeah, that's what. Do you see who? I don't know who just said doesn't do it enough, but I think that's the thing is that Elise every time he's given
epitomizes consistency. By the way.
hang on. Yeah, he epitomizes consistency of a good level, but you can't argue that Elise hasn't been consistent for the amount of games that he's played with that output and generated the amount of efficiency, like in terms of goals and assists that he has.
And in the team that he plays in that probably don't have as many attacking transitions.
Elise absolutely at this moment in time isn't a system player either.
So do you think, Dan, if I asked you a question of if you put Elise in an Arsenal shirt next season, do you think he does as well or better than Saka, or do you think actually it's more about system and team, or do you think
I'll be honest, I think if you put Saka would do better for Arsenal right now next season under Arteta just in general, and I think if the same with Elise, maybe not under Pep, but I think he needs him. This is what I'm saying about him and Eze is I feel like they need to remain free no matter what club they go to, because when they're allowed to be themselves and express themselves as players without restrictions being put on them by their managers and not tying them into a system, then that's where I feel like they're at their best, to be honest with you. And I think the thing is that we're talking about a very small margin here as well. We're not talking about the difference between, like, I'm trying to think, maybe like if you go Madueke to Elise, Madueke to Saka, there's a big gap, right? Of a similar ilk of player. We're not talking about a gap anywhere near that. We're talking about two players that could easily go and play at the top teams in the game for their whole 10-year career at their best. Do you know what I mean? We're not talking about a huge difference here. And I'm not going to turn my nose up if I had either in my teams, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but no, if you think Elise is the better player, then you put your neck on the line and the gal, you're itching your chin. This is your time to open your mouth.
Okay. The simple thing you could always go to is, Elise hasn't done it in the top team. Elise hasn't done it in the Champions League, in the Euros, in the World Cup. He hasn't done it on the global stage. He hasn't produced nearly as much and as consistent as Bukayo Saka has been over the last several years. If you look at it, Bukayo Saka has been doing this since 2021, simply every single season, churning out results. if you look at Olise, if I'm not mistaken, last 2 years were his best years, and if I'm not mistaken, he's also the same age as Bukayo Saka. So if you're going to talk about just simply comparing the two right now, Bukayo Saka is streets ahead of him. If you want to talk about ability and you want to talk about who looks better on the eye, maybe Olise looks better on the eye because he's not getting double teamed every 2 seconds by the opponent, and he doesn't have 3 men on him every single.
That's very relevant, you know.
Right. So Bukayo Saka, not only is he being man marked as the main man to neutralize in every single game, he's playing in a team that faces low blocks every single week. You're looking at a player who's at a Crystal Palace team who they're not really worried about their attack besides 1 or 2 players consistently, and they're more or less teams are going there expecting to beat Crystal Palace on a weekly basis. Olise has to do something magical, so I'll give him credit, but I don't think he's better than Bukayo Saka in the final third. I don't think he's better than Bukayo Saka at creativity. I don't think he's better than Bukayo Saka at any part of the game. Maybe eye test merchants are going to say he's better.
Sorry, what's an eye test merchant?
People who just look at players and say they're aesthetically
actually
pleasing.
watch the game and understand what they're watching.
No. People who look at players and say, one second. People who say people who look at players and say they're more aesthetically pleasing, hence they're better. They're a better player.
Do you know what it is? Igal, the best way of putting that is I hear what you're saying because people say GA.
I think that's where you're going with it.
And if you're saying GA merchants, I think you also have to say eye test merchants. It has to be a balance of both.
Yeah, that's facts, Daps. It has to be a balance of both because you can't deny if the numbers aren't there, right?
Exactly.
The numbers have to be there to back up the point of the eye test. That's the whole point. I wanted to know what Agal meant by suggesting. But Agal, I just wanted to know what you meant by suggesting eye test merchant because I didn't understand what you meant by that.
I thought I explained it perfectly. Did you get it?
No, you did. I'm not saying you didn't.
You know what I find, and this is looking at the comments. Big up, guys, that obviously the interactions matters. Or 800 of you in the building. Make sure you're smashing a like. This is a great debate. Olise is a better player than Saka is what Dan's saying. And I don't want Dan to get cooked for it. So, like, what I think Dan is saying is that he believes Olise is a better player, but it doesn't mean he thinks Saka's crap. And I think this is what happens when people say, oh, I think this player is better than this player. No one's not rating Saka. I think everyone here can rate Saka, but then also there's been a question over the last season that's just gone, and a gal will know, and Daps has done many streams of us as well, where we discussed, is Saka overrated? And that's what's happened at times this season, because in some big games he's gone quiet and stuff like that. But there's also been moments where he has stepped up. So for Dan to say Olise is a better player does not mean Saka's crap at all. Saka's a very, very good player, but so is Olise. And people can prefer one or the other. Now, I think that's a wild take? I don't think it's a wild take.
1 second. I think we're comparing like a top luxury car to a Honda Civic. That's what I'm saying.
Because the Civic.
Come on.
We're talking about a consistent,
just doing great MPG.
We're talking about a consistent week-to-week Premier League player who's doing well at a Crystal Palace to one of the top talents that England has.
If he was a Honda Civic, he would not be linked to Man City. He would not be linked to Chelsea. He would not be linked to other clubs. Don't disrespect Olise like that.
Everyone needs a reliable player.
Honda Civic, bro.
Nah, Civic Type R, innit? That's Saka, you know. Doing well in the system with a little bit about him.
Understand, you guys are talking about one of the faces of the Premier League, one of the faces of English football.
We're not talking about faces of Premier League or faces of Boots or faces of Nike.
And you're comparing him to every single week.
That's just outrageous because everything ties.
I don't think it's outrageous at all.
I've disrespected Saka. I've disrespected him.
No, we're not. Hang on, Agal. This is where you're showing you don't understand the game you're watching because Agal, you are talking. Agal, you are literally talking.
Hold on, Dan. 1 second. Agal, what did you just say about the Champions League there?
Bukayo Saka has been in the Champions League and was one of the top goal scorers and assisters in the Champions League last season.
In the group stage.
At the end of the tournament, I think he's top 5. You go check it.
And then the same year before that, you was in the Europa League.
How many goals?
Listen, I'm simply. I don't think this is an argument.
Ty, how many goals did Højlund have in the Champs this year?
7, I believe, and we still got knocked out of the group stages.
It's 5 or 7. I'm sure it's 5.
Yeah, it might be 6. Let's say go 6, middle ground 6 actually.
Rasmus Højlund scored. How many goals did Bukayo Saka score in the Champions League?
4.
How many?
4 goals, 4 assists.
No, don't change it. Man, we're talking about top goal scorers. Højlund.
No, I said GA.
All right, I heard.
See, we're not attacking, and this is the thing. We are not attacking Saka.
No, I think it's disrespectful to do these comparisons when the player.
Dan just said he thinks he's a better player.
Agal, this is where I struggle to take your opinion sometimes with more than just a pinch of salt. Because to be honest, this is where you show you don't quite understand how this works. we're not talking about a Honda Civic and a Lamborghini here. We're talking about two very, very good cars.
Yeah,
if you
which
want to
I
use
respected,
your
Gal.
analogy, we might be talking about a Ferrari and a Lamborghini, and someone chooses one, someone chooses the other. But what we're not saying that one is a Honda Civic off the scrapyard and one is that. That just isn't this argument, Agal. And this is the issue: is that you, and I'm not even just going to address this, but particularly Arsenal fans as well, will just absolutely get on their high horse, start overrating their own players, and they just get absolutely carried away with it. That's not what we're talking about.
Are you England?
Like,
one second. You're an England fan. I see you wearing. You have the shirts behind you.
Yeah.
Who's one of the most impactful players for England?
But that doesn't.
Stop. I have a point here.
Let's hear you go. I'll give you a chance, Gal. Yeah, I'll give you a chance. Go on, Dan. I'll let you answer, and you go on.
Go ahead, Dan.
What? Sorry, what do you want me to say? Harry Kane under Southgate's reign? Sterling? What do you want me to say?
So if I'm not mistaken, is Olise not half French, half English also? Could he not have been picked for the England team?
I think he chose to play for France. Still could.
No, he didn't. He wasn't selected by either national team.
Okay, no. He chose France. He chose to represent France.
No, he chose to represent.
So where are you taking this, Agal? I don't get it. Are you saying he's playing for France because he's not good enough to get in England? Is that where you're going?
Southgate didn't select for England. If you guys think Olise is better than Saka, he would be in the England squad next to Eze and Saka.
You can't have that argument because it's the likes of like Zaha as well decided to play for Ivory Coast.
You guys think you guys know better than
they want to represent Agal. Come off it.
Dan literally said, once, I'll come to you, but Dan literally just said, I think Olise is a better player than Saka. Now, it's not wild because, like he said, if you're comparing it with Madueke and stuff, the gap is big. Olise is a very good player who's playing at Crystal Palace at the moment.
Why is what I said ridiculous?
Arsenal.
But my man said Olise is better than Saka.
One second, I'm just talking, bro. I said, he said Olise and Saka. Olise is now linked to Man City last year to replace Riyad Mahrez, who's been fundamental in Man City's success. He's now linked to Chelsea. He's linked to top clubs. He's playing in the France under 21. Everyone can see that Olise is one of the best up-and-coming right wingers in the league. Now, because he's played at Crystal Palace and so forth, the hype won't be there. But when you look at his ability and what he has done, like Dan said, I don't think it's crazy that he has said that, because I bet in 2 years' time, we'll come back to this, or even 12 months' time, and people will start having these uncomfortable conversations saying, is he better than Saka? So what Dan's saying is that he thinks Olise is better, but it doesn't mean that he thinks Saka is a bad player. He thinks Olise is very good, and I rate Olise very highly. I also rate Saka very highly. So if people have one preference or the other, I don't think it's that wild, but I think because he's played at Arsenal now, Saka, and he's been important in what you've done, and he's been consistent or played in the England team a lot, it also gives him sort of that ammo of like, okay, what he's done so far. But at least it hasn't got to that moment yet.
Earlier as well, Ty.
Gal, can I just say something?
No one think that.
Right. So when over the last like 3-4 years, Saka and Foden have been compared to each other. Yeah, one of the things in Saka's defence has always been the team that he's had around him, and you know that Foden's been playing for a City team and whatever. If you lot are going to say that in Saka's defence, is it not fair to also say that in it's Olise, in Olise's defence, that ultimately you can't judge? You're judging him based on the team he plays for.
Yeah, that's what it seems that the angle's coming from.
Again, do you know what it is? I feel like we need to stop being subjective with this, because people always disrespected when it comes to like body of work, and I feel like now we always look at GA. We talk about the eye test, but I think the third metric that we don't usually take into account is body of work. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Olise is someone who can be compared to Saka. And I feel like if you're comparing their seasons, Olise has probably had a very good season, which is probably comparable to Saka, because I think Saka this season wasn't as good as he was last season. However, what Saka has and what people seem to not really take into consideration is genuinely a body of work. So don't get me wrong, Olise can do what Saka does. Of course he can. But can he do it consistently like Saka does? We don't know that. We don't know. Now,
and that's the exciting part, once.
Yeah, it's exciting, but we're underestimating the body of work. And I hope now Igal understands that now that someone like Olise, who is a very good up-and-coming player, is being compared to Saka, he sees that as disrespectful. I hope now that when he compares,
and I hear that.
Hold on,
I hope now that when he compares Saliba to Van Dijk, and when the other Arsenal fans, not saying you personally, compare Saka to Salah, or when they compare Rice to Rodri, now you understand the body of work that the other three, of the Van Dijks, the Rodris, and the Salahs have done for 6-7 years. Now, when you talk about body of work, you now feel the disrespect when someone like Elise is now being compared to Bukayo Saka. Because don't get me wrong, I'm on your side.
No, I hear you. Mons, I just want to clarify some things.
By the way, I'm Saka.
Mo Salah and Van Dijk are the benchmark. So are you telling me Bukayo Saka is now the benchmark?
No, I'm not saying he's the benchmark. You've gone the wrong way with it.
No, because when we compare to Van Dijk and Mo Salah, we compare to the best in their positions. That's all I'm saying. It's not an insult. It's not a triggering thing. I'm genuinely serious. Mons, what you're saying is when now you see how it feels to be compared when you're on top. That's it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying,
when Mo Salah is being compared, he's being compared because he's the best right winger. When Van Dijk is being compared, he's being compared because he's the best.
Bro, Dan's not comparing Elise to Saka because Saka's we're having this argument.
God, you're so shameless.
We asked him to name his top 5 right wingers.
Better.
Hold on. No, hold on. You've got it wrong. I'm not talking about benchmark. I'm just saying that people are underestimating the body of work, and that's what's been happening.
That's a different debate to ability, bro. That's a completely different debate. We're not talking about people's CV. Dan clearly said he believes Elise is a better footballer than Bukayo Saka.
And it's not Elise might never get the body of work that Saka gets, by the way. He might never get that. And I will still say that Elise is a better player than Saka. Even if he never gets
Ty, what did I tell you? Ty, what did I tell you that time? Ty, now you're seeing it, Ty. Hold on once. Now you're seeing it, Ty. What did I tell you that time when I came to the studio, before we did the show? And I told you how these lot overrate him, and how they're touchy about their boy, right? Igao, let me ask you a question. Is Bukayo Saka world class? Just yes or no?
I don't think I have to answer any of your questions, bro. Make your point.
No. I'm
doing the city bag. I'm not giving you no
world class. Yes or no, bro?
This is like the boardroom at Apprentice.
Is he world class? Yes or no?
Tell me, what do you think?
No, I don't think he's world class. I'm asking you because you're saying that it's disrespectful to compare him to the likes of Elise, as if Elise is any guy that we just found on the road, bro.
No. Honda Civic.
What it is, Igao, I think you don't actually watch this guy. That's what I think it is. You're showing your ball knowledge right now, Because for you to be talking about Elise the way you are, crazy, man. It is crazy, bro. I can't believe what you're even saying about Elise, because he plays for Palace, And then for you to say that he's not consistent, is crazy, bro. It is crazy because before Glasner even came in, he was cooking with this season before Glasner came in, and then he got injured. Do you know what I'm saying? So let me ask you again, brother: is Bukayo Saka world class? Just yes or no?
Bro, this is not Ask Igao question show. Make your point.
It is though because we're talking about Saka.
So actually, Don, let me ask you a question, and then I want to get Mark to take credit as well.
But Elise is not world class. So why are we?
I never said he's world class. My point isn't Elise is world class. My point is Igao's trying to dismiss Dan's point about Elise and basically trying to put Saka here and Elise all the way down here. When in reality it's like this, bro.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I've never ever said
the golfing quality has been shown over years.
Similar or above.
Yeah, but Igao, people love to do
this.
In that case, with that logic, No, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this debate, With that logic, Olise can never be better than Saka because as long as Saka stays at Arsenal, he's gonna have a longer body of work.
Okay. So what if Olise gets the move then? What if Olise gets the move to Chelsea
you're not
or
making
Man
your case
United or
why
whatever?
he's better. Hence why I'm not going to answer your questions because you're not making your case why he's better. You're trying to make your case.
I don't need to tell you the same thing. Dan's told you the same thing.
One second. The difference between what Don is doing and what I did with Dan is I was trying to make my case on why Saka is better and why we shouldn't have this conversation. Yes, I was maybe flippant with my point around the quality being a vehicle that's a luxury vehicle and a regular vehicle.
But you are talking about the body of work.
My main point still stands. Bukayo Saka has more quality of work and he's better than him in many different areas.
That's why Mon said to you, Saliba and Van Dijk, and gave you the example of why you not saying about.
One second. When Don comes here and asks me those kind of questions, he's simply trying to get you a got you moment and he's trying to discredit me.
I'm not saying got you. No. I'm not saying got you, Igao. I'm asking you a question. No. I'm not doing that, bro. Hold on, Igao.
Stop talking about Saka. Why is he better?
I would have never asked you
why
that
is
question.
he better? Answer that.
Let me land my point.
I'm talking about Saka. Why is he better?
Man's already told you why, bro. I would have basically said
you tell me. I don't know, right?
The reason why I'm asking the question,
why is he better?
I'll tell you in a second, bro. Because actually, watch your Lise. Some of us actually watch your Lise. Clearly, you don't know. Clearly, you don't watch him. Clearly, you don't watch him, bro. You're talking about him as if he's Saka. He's better than Saka. It hurts you, Arsenal fans. I know. He's better than Saka.
Talk to me. Talk about football.
You know what I'm saying?
For fuck's sake.
It hurts you. There we go. There we go. There we go.
I don't give a fuck.
You got it.
Talk to me about football. Why is he better? Why is he better?
Oh, I'm about to tell you why he's better.
Why is he better?
I'm about to tell you why he's better. I'm about to tell you why he's better. I'm about to tell you why he's better. You're gonna let me land?
Tell me then.
You let me land, you're gonna sit there like Assassin's Creed, bruv. Huh? You're gonna let me land, you're gonna sit there like Assassin's Creed. Relax yourself and sit down, bruv.
Don.
Relax yourself and sit down.
Don, just keep it football. Just keep it football, Don.
Yeah, keep it football.
As I was saying.
But he keeps talking
No,
shit.
not Gal. I didn't say you.
You do this shit. You're talking about your player, and you're crying as if you know the guy. And you're here crying as if you know the guy.
Syndrome's a real thing, you know. Let's keep talking.
You're talking nonsense, bruv. If you know the guy, but I don't even know you. Relax, bruv. Calm down. But anyway, as I was saying,
does anyone want me to rap and lift the mood?
Don't chat shit.
As I was saying, wait, what'd you say?
No. Football.
Right?
Wait. Hold on. I'm never gonna say anything on stream. I'm never gonna say anything on stream.
Big up.
Because you're definitely not talking to me like that. Bukayo don't know you.
I'll talk like that to your face.
Bukayo don't know you, bro. Bukayo don't know you, bro. Bukayo does not know you, bro. Bukayo does not know you, bro. And let me tell you something. Adapt. Look him like this. Bring him to the barbecue and you'll see what I want. Bring to the barbecue and you'll see what I want. Look at these Arsenal boys. Crying about Bukayo, bro. Cry baby, bro.
It's all right. You know what?
You do nothing, bro. You're crying like some little child. You're crying like some little child.
Quick muting. Quick muting. Sorry, Mandem. Yeah, I love you. I know a guy was trying to draw his head off and that, trying to look like me with a hairline, but
this guy's crying about some guy that don't even know him. You're big age, bro. You're married, you got a child,
bro. You're acting like a child. Talk about
man. Drop them down for now.
Wallahi, I'm wasp, bro. About see this, see that, see who? Are you crazy?
Just for a sec. Yeah. Because
letting them make a fool of themselves.
My food's here, but I blame Micah Johnson for that. I'll be honest with you.
Hey,
Michael, what have you done?
Absolutely, yeah. You're real. Hey, commission end of the month. Hey, Dan,
I wanted to talk about England though.
Yeah, we are. Micah dropped the thing in, and then literally Dan just dropped in. Yeah, Lise's better than Saka, and it caused a war. But big up everyone. I hope you liked the video for that, because that was emotion as well as, you know, passion about their team and a player as well that, you know, you think they grew up with them as well. But look, Dan, it wasn't a wild take. I think at the end of the day, Lise has elite potential and he definitely can go far. I'm going to add their man back in a second. Don't worry. It's a respectful thing. Big up a gal and Don. Hope everyone enjoyed that. But Welks, obviously, Muntz came in and I thought out of the whole segment as well, Muntz done a really good segment talking about, you know, when they've compared Saliba to Van Dijk, respectfully, you know, he says Saliba's also a brilliant player. But then that's why he says that you can't just go out there and start saying these players are better. And that's why sometimes you get your back up. And the gal obviously has got his back up. So you could feel how Muntz has probably felt about Van Dijk throughout the season. But Welks, what do you think? Obviously, you've got your Palace kit on at the moment. Do you think that was a wild take from Dan? And then we are going to go into England, by the way, people. Like the video.
I don't think it's a wild take, but like, listen, I kind of listen. I don't really want to drag it too much because I don't do the compare thing. I've kind of stopped doing that. And so when it comes to football, really, this player is better than that player. This player is better than. Listen, I like Elite and I like Saka. I can't tell you who's better because one person will say he's better, one person will say he's not better. In terms of the ceiling and so forth, who knows really? There's players that you think that will have a high ceiling, they don't reach to those sort of high ceiling. There's players that will seen as a flop. Look at, for example, like Joe Linton. He was doing shit at Newcastle as a striker, and then they moved in sort of midfield. So I don't do the compare thing. I don't know when it comes to Elise and Saka. I don't know. I just like them both. I think both have the high ceiling. And
Shut the fuck up, man.
Oh my days! They can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. But yeah, man. Let's talk about England though. They can't do that. You don't do no things.
But it's, again,
we're on mute. There we go.
Yeah. Bro, it just depends what people's arguments are. Are you going by, because some people don't like rate the body of work. You know what I'm saying? Like Don, when he came in and said, you know, Elise doesn't play for Arsenal, so he's not going to have the same body of work. I disagree with that personally. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're able to do something at the top level for a certain amount of time, that is the difference between good players and great players, people think that gap is really small. It's really not. It's really not. Consistency is what separates the great from the good. And you, as I said, we've seen many a player look good and do things for 1 and 2 seasons. The Ben Arthurs, the Michus. We've seen these guys, bro. We've seen these guys. And we've seen them do it at the highest level, by the way, for 1 or 2 seasons. So it's not saying they're not capable, but to do it consistently, that's what separates Ronaldo and Messi from every other player in the last 20 years. A lot of other players in the last 20 years. It's consistency. So I think if you rate consistency, then you have to respect Saka's thing, bro.
100%. I agree with you on that.
You know I'm not Arsenal bully. I'm an Arsenal hater, bro. But you have to respect Saka's. Just like, because I can't be a hypocrite and say, talk about Mo Salah or someone who's better than Mo Salah, because Mo Salah, I rate him for the body of work, bro. For normalizing doing what he's doing for 7-8 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Saka is normalizing these, beginning to normalize these things. So for someone who's come up onto the scene for 1-2 years and immediately get the comparison, I do think it's a little bit unfair, but I can understand if you're talking from an ability standpoint, which is why I don't. That's why I didn't shoot you down. That's why I didn't shoot you down.
I don't, mate. To be honest, I think what Welks is saying, like those 2 players for me, bar body of work, are so close together. Do you know what I mean? Like the body of work is what potentially separates them two. If you're looking for a split through the argument, but in terms of ability and what they've both been given naturally and as talent and things like that, I think it's minimal. In terms of like natural ability, where are you putting Salah on that compared to OLISE and Saka? Like,
guys, sorry, let's draw. We need to move on to England.
Otherwise, well, I'll let you start with England.
I just wondered what you said.
Sorry.
Can I just get stuff off my chest?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. 1 second. So, people, there's over 1,000 people in here, which we've been. Mod just said the word consistent, and that's what we're trying to get back to, the consistency. We've got those numbers back to 1,000. Thank you, everyone in here. I don't know how many likes there are on this video, but if you haven't liked it, please give it a like. We need that. That's going to help get these numbers more consistently. Sorry. Just some breaking news. Don and Agal, I think, backstage are on the phone to each other.
Arguing with each other.
I see everything. The bare hand movements and that. But you two, man, calm down.
I love you both.
I love you both, but both of you just calm down, man.
I'm not going to lie. Give me a thumbs up. Agal, are you cool to be added back in, yeah?
Yeah, please. Joking aside, both of you, Cool. Respectfully, please not on this show, Other because
bro, I'm here to talk about Saka. The guy starts talking about when I see you.
Don,
you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna do shit, bro.
It's fucked up.
Don, bro.
We try to talk ball. Man keeps this in.
And you, please.
I'm trying to talk ball. I'm just disappointed that the man comes here. First thing he's doing is
shut up, bro. Please.
I'm done.
Yeah, cool.
Right, cool.
We're gonna do football. Make sure you like the video, people. I know the numbers are over 1,000, and you know what? It's great to see. So big up everyone. If you're here for the beef, if you're here for the football talk, you're here as a community. So please make sure you subscribe and check all the Mandem's content as well, and just show love, man. And Don, I'm gonna add you back in. And please,
Don,
please.
Nothing
for me, bro. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, I'm calm, bro. But don't tell me that
cool. That's it. That's all you got to say. I'm calm. That's it. That's all you got to say. I'm calm. That's it. Yeah, we work in recruitment. We're not on the phone till tomorrow. Yeah, chill. We've done it. Right, England. Dan, I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'm gonna come to Welks as well.
Can I just say one thing?
To the top.
Can I?
Yeah, you're at the top.
He's just moved. That's
and man, I'm gonna go out anyway, bro. See you, man.
Yeah, love.
Love. Bless up.
So earlier on, when Agal was talking about Pep, and he was saying about basically how winners, the way the league is, and I think what Pep has with City is a group of players that are confident in every single game they go into that they think they're going to win. Right now, you can also say Saka at Arsenal, he's confident, and Palmer for Chelsea, he goes into games thinking we're going to win this. I watched England the other day, and I thought none of you players look confident at all. It's like Southgate is not doing his job in installing any confidence, and they just look like completely different players. All of them. And you have to look at the manager and go, when all these players are balling out for their club, what is going on here? And ultimately, it's the mentality. they're not going into this tournament. They're probably wondering if they're going to get through.
I've got a question for you, Dax, and I'm going to open this up to the panel because I think it's a great point you make. Because confidence, I agree, in some of these players, it's like they don't want to make a mistake. But one thing I think Gareth Southgate's been, picked up on in a positive over the years, right? You look at the World Cup 2018, we got Croatia in the semi-final. We lost. We took a 1-0 lead. Got to the Euros final against Italy, took a lead. Luke Shaw, first few minutes, lost that. World Cup again in Qatar. We lost to a France team, but let's be honest, I respect France, of course. I think they're a great team, but they weren't great that night. Harry Kane missed a penalty. He doesn't really miss penalties. We went out in the quarterfinals. Now, one thing Gareth Southgate, for me, guys, has been propped or hyped up for, whatever he say is one of his accolades, can you say, is the harmony. We had that Gerrard Scholes Lampard era, and people say, like, even Sven-Goran Eriksson, I just couldn't get it fit. Rio Ferdinand says no one even spoke to each other. If Man United or Arsenal players are there, they'll focus on their rivalry in the leagues. Now, Southgate's been given his props for saying, right, he's built a community. He's got everyone buying into it. Everyone, his happy family's there. But actually, that, for me, can only take you so far. And you've got to semis, you've got to finals, and you've got to a quarterfinal. Now, for me, I think having a happy camp and, believing in your whole squad and that can get you to finals. But if you don't win nothing, this is now his 4th tournament, I think then coaching has to come into it. What can them little tweaks be done to get you past the Frances, get you past the Italys, get you past the Brazils, for example, in a World Cup and whatnot? Now, I don't know if that's just come out of Southgate a bit now, because there's a few players that have been left out of the squad and some players have been a bit like, oh, they've been left out. But England have now gone lost to Iceland. They've conceded the first time in 3 games in a row at Wembley, I think since 1954. Now, for me, Southgate's biggest thing has having that harmony. I think slowly is that going a little bit. And now when it comes down to tactical ability, making them changes, making them subs, he got it. He hasn't got it. And I'll open up to Daps and whoever, but that's what I think. I think harmony's kept him in there, and now he's losing that a bit.
Yeah. Let me land with this one because
go on, my bro.
Listen, I still will never forgive. Listen, in terms of media and stuff like that, I'll still never forgive what they've done with David Beckham and the likes of Wayne Rooney, innit? Especially what these men have done for their sort of nation as well, and these talented players. And Southgate is just a criminal. Even losing against that friend Iceland as well, it's just criminal. Yeah, and the thing is about Southgate as well, how can you have a group of players? We can all sit here and agree that these players that England have are talented players. We see these players week in, week out, whether or not it's the Sakas, the Kobe Mainus, or the Rashfords and stuff like that. Bro, you tell me Lewis Dunk can still be in this England team when you got the likes of Tomori that's bossing out in AC Milan? And the inconsistencies of Southgate, bro. I won't play Jack Grealish. Remember the time he was speaking about Jack Grealish to play, and he says, I'll only play players on form. But then he was playing Maguire, he was having a dire season, but he still played Maguire. And people might say, oh, he plays well for England. And do you know what is crazy? That is true. But the thing about Southgate, he's just inconsistent with what his tactics are. He's inconsistent of what he actually says and what he wants for the team to do as well. And I think with that, is the whole thing with Rashford, the whole thing with Sancho about missing the penalty. I think he was just on his high horse. He wanted to be the hero, to be like, oh, raw. I wanted to give these players a chance. Shut up, bro. This is a team to win, bro. That's not a winning mentality. See Deschamps, despite the fact that I criticized Deschamps, Deschamps did no provisional squad, bro. This is my 26-man squad. These are the men that are playing. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the winning mentality that he's breeded out. Southgate wants to do this pally thing. Stop this, bro. In football now, I must say, this pally thing that these men have here is jarring, bro. This pally thing does not win you trophies, especially when you got England with so much talent, ID, bro. So much, dude, bro. England is a luxury team. See that someone like Jose, the one at Pep, if you had these men on touchline, all you had to do was tell these men to play ball. Play ball. That's all you need to do, my G. There's as much as you can, implement some of your tactics, cool, whatever. But you see France here, these men, see Europe Cup competitions like this. It's not really a tactics thing.
Nah, it's go out there and win.
Together and play your football. Do you get what I'm saying? This is the foundation that we have. Even with you criticize Netherlands, but the thing about Netherlands is they've got a foundation that these men play in. No one can tell me what's England's sort of foundation. And I swear to you, I watched that Iceland game. I said to you, man, I don't watch England, but I said, let me watch these ones. I usually watch the under-21s, but I said, let me watch this game. Kai Walker, once again, me and Moss say that again. This guy time-lapse, bro. Stop, bro. His tactical sort of discipline is so inept, bro. So that's why they conceded. But you think to yourself, Rob, Cole Palmer, you got the likes of Foden. Where are these man's best position? What are you trying to tell them on the touchline?
Welks.
Who's your consistent team? Because no one can tell me England's consistent 11. No one can.
Welks, did you watch? So you watched the game the other day, right?
Unfortunately.
Tell me about it. Firstly, I agree with you on Walker. I'm not going to come out and defend Walker yet because I think you're spot on.
It's not just Walker, though. It's not just
No.
Walker.
But just it's a good example that he hasn't picked Rashford, he hasn't picked Sterling, he hasn't picked Grealish based on their form this season. Okay, no problem. So that's what we're doing here. Kyle Walker's in the team. Reece James isn't going, right? I understand why Kyle Walker would be in the squad. A bit like Henderson a few years ago. You take him for the leadership, and in certain games, if you need the pace, cool. But if we're doing I'm going to do it based on how good a season people have had. Walker should not be in that team, yeah? He shows more people inside than a fucking club doorman. I'll be real, yeah? Especially this season, right? But I was watching Foden the other day, and ultimately, because Kane wants to drop deep into the pockets, Palmer's getting into the pockets, Foden ended up at times being a target man up top, right? Yeah. What are we doing here? Like, I'll say it again. I would rather see Foden not start than he ends up being a target man or playing on the left, right? Yeah. It's just, the guy is, but I feel what he's doing at the moment, yeah, is everyone's always said he should try other people, and I think he is prepared for failure. So he's almost doing something different this time. So, well, I'm doing what everyone told me to do. I'm playing all the players you told me to play.
They kind of like.
But Southgate was never a good manager. That's the problem from the jump.
No, never has been. This is the
he
thing.
would never have been a good manager. That's why I don't get why he's been here.
That's
for
what I'm
so
saying.
long.
He's there for the harmony, trying to create a good atmosphere. But that's when you tournaments. Well, that's what I'm saying. Creating a good atmosphere. Maybe Southgate should have been the manager when it was Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes era.
That doesn't win you.
It doesn't win you stuff. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't win you stuff.
Is a waste man. I can't lie. He's a waste man. If you see the articles and the French media, excuse me,
they don't like him.
But the thing about him, he knows how to win. And that's what you need to. That's what you need. Set a good foundation. Get your players as well. Get these man gelling. See this one thing as well. Giving so much chances to these players. You brought Tony. You know you're not playing Tony, my guy. Adam Wharton, I'm sorry, my G. As much as you've got talent, you're not playing him. Get your just strict 26-man squad. Get these man to gel. Stop trying to try like, Kwanzaa, you come in. Even though we have a plethora of luxury talents, but it's not saying that everybody should go to England. It's not saying that. Leave Tony at home. Leave Adam Wharton.
But then take who then? What? Because I'm not taking Henderson. You got to take. You have to take.
Nothing has been. Yeah, right. Even the Henderson one. Henderson was crazy as well.
Wharton should never be on this plane, by the way.
But who goes instead of him then? Because I rate Wharton, and I'm not trying to. I say I agree with Southgate, but who goes?
No. It's not about Wharton and his talent. It's not going to be displayed. Wharton's talent is not. We're not going to see it. We'll see it on the.
But who would go instead that would be displayed once?
We'll see it in the third group stage game when we've already qualified, and we won't see him again.
He comes on for
20 minutes. You think we're going to qualify by the third group stage game? I don't know, bro.
I'm going to challenge you. Wharton should go because he actually is a good midfielder.
I'd rather see an alternative as a Grealish or a Sancho come in on the left wing as an alternate option to Anthony Gordon, or to then see Adam Wharton play for 15 minutes and never see him again in the England squad. He is young enough and talented enough to be consistent enough to be picked in years to come. We want you in now. This is the best generation we've had in the last 15 years, bro. Since Gerrard, Lampard,
Declan Rice, Conor Gallagher, Kobe Mainu. You got Trent that can basically play, and then Adam Wharton. Take out Adam Wharton, and we're talking about Gallagher, who we know we're hot and cold with. Come on, let's be real. We got Declan Rice who's going to start. Kobe, who's 19, and we can't rely on him to play every free game.
We're not gaining or lacking. People keep saying I hate Wharton. I'm not nothing to do with Wharton. We're not gaining or lacking anything with or without him. So use that space to accompany something else or someone else.
Reece James, and then let Trent play in the midfield.
Reece James. Come on, bro. You man.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a good season. He's not in the England setup. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not about whether it's good. I think what Muntz is saying is you want a consistent sort of 26-man squad.
I'd rather have Barkley than Adam Wharton. I'd rather have just Barkley, bro.
Yeah,
I'd rather have just Barkley.
That's good. Yeah.
But then I think Barkley's the same argument, Monts. I also think Barkley wouldn't get like his showcase time. Do you know what I mean?
And then it means we've got a lot of them sort of profiles that are more like advanced midfielders rather than having someone like Wharton, who I'm not saying is a Michael Carrick or anything like that, but he's naturally probably
not playing, bro.
He's the most. I know, but naturally. He don't stop, but naturally he's the most ideal partner probably for Declan Rice.
You know why I wouldn't have Wharton there? Because right now, he
actually sits.
Wharton, people are judging Morton based on like 6 weeks of football or something. Yeah, realistically, there will be some people that have watched more of him, but I'm seeing way too talk about his comp videos and all of that. Yeah, like let's chill out. For me, I don't want Wharton to go because any young ballers right now, I don't want them around that fucking mentality, bro. It's gonna damage them.
So who do you have in
for me, Reece James, right.
So you having Trent basically next to Rice? Is that your main starter?
For me, he has taken Luke Shaw, who has hardly played this season, right?
Yeah.
But then he hasn't taken Reece James. Don't make sense. Because
he's been out a long
Luke Shaw
no, but Reece James has come. Hold on. But Reece James has come back at the end of the season. Did Luke Shaw come back at the end of the season?
The guy's right, yo.
Luke Shaw's a staple on the team.
Maguire's good for England. That's the thing. Despite he's at Man United, Maguire does perform for England.
We don't. England have enough right backs as well, Wolks. Though I feel like with Walker, Trippier, they have Trent that can play there. England don't have a specialist left back.
You don't have any. You don't.
Luke Shaw's the only left footer, really.
Saka.
Besides Trippier and Luke Shaw, what left backs do England have that are up there? Chilwell, they didn't want to take because his performance in his last trial for England was terrible.
But I'll be real.
But the point is that England have talent. The point is though that England have talent. Whether or not you think who should go on the plane or not, that doesn't dispute the fact that
we should have a good enough team to still
be able to get a best out of these players to win at least a competition, bro.
I think he's gonna call me crazy. He's gonna push Trippier Trippier or Luke Shaw, whoever plays left back, is gonna be so much higher than Kyle Walker if Kyle Walker is starting. But if Trent is starting, you're gonna then go with a more
start for me.
If Trent's gonna start, then you're gonna go with a more defensive left back. If you have Kyle Walker starting at right back, you're gonna go with a more attacking left back in Luke Shaw. Now you have the versatility, Trippier or Luke Shaw, depending on who you want.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think, right, for me, this goes back to what Welks was saying about we've got fucking ballers, let them ball, right? I'll be real watching England right now, Trent must start at right back, right? Simple as that. Must. That is the biggest one for me in this whole England team, If Trent must start right back, And then Bellingham and Rice need to be given the role. Do you know what? You man need to protect him like Henderson and Wijnaldum used to do and let Trent fucking ball, right? Trent is the closest thing to Kevin De Bruyne in this Premier League over the last 5-6 years, right? We need Trent on that pitch. Yes, defensively, he might not be that great, but we need him more than anything, in my opinion. You build a team around Trent. I don't care what people say. This is coming from a City fan, but I'm telling you, if you've got Kane, and Kane needs to be told, we've got enough good midfielders, stop fucking dropping deep and be a number 9, You be Haaland, Trent, you be De Bruyne, and go and get some fucking goals. Foden play in the pockets, Cole Palmer play in the pockets. It's simple. It's what they do at their clubs, but they get together. Why is Kane being allowed to drop into the pockets when you've got fucking Cole Palmer? You've got
Bellingham,
Bellingham. You don't need to do it. This is not Spurs with a shit midfield.
That's why Southgate needs to look at Tuchel and say, right, this season, Kane stayed up front a lot of the time, and it's just like, right, we'll get the ball to you with Musiala and other players around there, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry. We need Kane just to stay up front and let the players do their jobs, because otherwise you're starting to occupy the spaces. Then all of a sudden, no one's up top. And like Dapsy says, you've got Foden making the runs into the box.
And Pep showed that. When Erling Haaland came for the first start of the season, he was trying to drop back. I remember De Bruyne said, hey, don't
just stay up there. Doesn't matter if you're not involved.
I'll find you, my bro.
Pep was telling him in training, do not come in there, because when you come into the midfield, you bring a load of players, it becomes overcrowded and people can't do what they're supposed to do there.
And this is the problem, right? And this is what I'm worried about. There's two things I'm worried about with England, right? I see what Monson and Dan think as well, is that one, I do like that he's taken obviously the Guehi, the Stones, there's Lewis Dunk there. I get it. They've played for their teams all season. The only thing that worries me is when you get into the vital stages of a cup competition, international stage, have they got that experience and know how to see out games, especially if England are winning, and it's 1-1 and it's getting tight and gritty? That's what we're going to see about England's defense. I do think they're good in their own right, but have they got that, when it gets to the vital stages of a competition? And then obviously when you look at, the group we've got, I'm going to be real. Iceland have basically set out the blueprint of what you can do to stop England. You sit in a low block, you're going to have to try and make them break them down. England had one shot on target, by the way, at home at Wembley against Iceland. And that's what other teams are going to do. Now, we're talking about a Denmark team that have got quality to score goals, but also they've got that know-how in the tournaments. You know, they can be grindy, they can be gritty, they can sit back deep and try and hit us on the counter. Serbia, we all know about Mitrovic in Serbia. They're going to make it tough.
Did you see
Slovenia?
Did you see how many times Iceland got in with balls over the top?
Yeah, all over the top. It's not teams that we're going to like, and they're going to make it difficult for us. Their aims, right? When you look at it, England on paper, we should be winning at least 3 of them games or drawing 1 and winning 2. On paper, they're going to be looking at us as like we're their hardest game. So they're going to say, right, let's just do what suits us to try and give us the best advantage of winning. They're not going to try and come out and play expansive football. They're going to say, keep it tight. Let's try and hit them on the break, maybe a couple set pieces. And England have already shown, and even Manu said it, Anthony Gordon done it in the interview, he said, we struggled against the low block and we've got 9 days to try and turn it around. Now, months down, I'll let you guys come in a gal. How do you feel like England stylistically are going to be able to do in this tournament? Because we're not going to be playing all these teams that are going to be coming open to us. We're going to have to try and break
England until the quarters should have a relatively easy sides or teams you're expected to beat. I'm not saying those games are going to.
This is England.
Yeah, I'm not saying those games are going to be easy, but I think you need to use the first 3 group stage games as opportunities to put the games early to bed and try to make.
We've been living in this country long enough. We don't put games to bed. We don't make nothing easy in tournaments. I'd love to believe you,
but your group is not like the hardest group. And then when you go to the first round of the when you go to the first round in the knockouts, you're gonna have a relatively good side also. I don't think Kyle Walker should even be dependent on as a first team starter for the beginning of the tournament, as you won't need his defensive ability. Trent as a right back will be better for in that situation, and your left side is also going to be probably bombing forward. I'm going to have to see what kind of defense you play, because your back line, if they're going to have the pace, now that Harry Maguire is not there, maybe a Guehi and a John Stones, they can hold it down defensively. And the front 3, I don't think you need to do too much rotation. You're going to play Saka, Foden, and Harry Kane. And maybe in the 3rd game, you can trial a Palmer or Anthony Gordon. But right now, I think you play it safe and you go with a traditional midfielder and you play Foden on the left to start the tournament.
Okay.
Not what?
Well, Foden on the left, you're not fans.
Because you have Saka who can play out wide.
Don't start him.
But what? So that means Saka or Foden? One of them has to start.
Wait, you want Foden on the bench?
Bro,
I think I
would rather have Foden on the bench than playing left. Bro, what are we doing here?
No, but understand the width is going to be held. One second. The same way City play. One second. The same way City play. The left side, the width is going to be held by the left back. Same way Luke Shaw, Trippier are going to hold the width.
Bro,
he's basically going to be a 10. He's going to be filling in occupying the middle spaces.
What? And then you're letting so you're letting someone.
You're letting the left back occupy.
I think Gordon might start you lot. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he impressed enough actually against.
I think Gordon might start. He's a natural left winger. We haven't got many.
I hear what
I think Gordon gets back. The only thing is, I think some of Gordon's crossing the other day was fucking.
Yeah,
you know what it is though, Daps, is that some of it wasn't great, but the issue is that it just adds more of a natural balance to the side. And,
yeah.
You know what it is like? It's so important to create that in an international setup, and for years we didn't when we had the best team we ever had in terms of players. And like what Ty was saying, maybe Southgate then was the right option, but for me now, Southgate brought a balance, and he kind of got everyone back on track and got the feeling of what it is to be English back in that camp, and then he's now outstayed his welcome. Someone should have come in with the same attitude, by the way, in terms of keeping it all together, but who's a little bit more ruthless. And I think that's the issue, is that he hasn't had that, and he isn't ruthless enough to make the decision where Foden shouldn't start. If it means the best for the team, Foden shouldn't start. If it means the best for the team that Harry Kane shouldn't drop deep, he ain't got the minerals to sit there and tell him you shouldn't do that, Harry. Whereas someone like Thomas Tuchel will turn around to Harry Kane and be like, do you want to win the Champions League? Do you want to get to the Champions League semi-finals? Do not drop back. Same with Pep and Haaland. They'll turn around and say it. Southgate will go, oh, you guys are better than I've ever been. You know how to play. You do that. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think the message is. And I don't want to see Foden put out at left wing, because we haven't seen him play there. For me, Foden has absolutely had the season where you actually build this England team around him as a 10. You go, Foden has been the best English player probably.
And what do you do with Bellingham then, Dan? You drop him next to right?
I think Bellingham
is what Pelham used to do.
Yeah. I think Bellingham has actually potentially probably played out of position at Real Madrid this season due to their squad. And he's done fantastically well. But actually, there's nothing to suggest that a Rice, Bellingham, and Foden in the 10 is that's an exceptional midfield. And do you know what? For 6 games, Rice can sit defensively. And
yes, he can. He's done it at Arsenal.
You've done it for England before. You were fantastic. Do you want to win the Euros? Do it again. Go back to
you know what it is,
and push on.
I had this conversation with, I think it was with Monts the other day, right? You just look at when players are at their best and look at when clubs are at their best, right? So you look at Trent. Trent was at his best when he had 2 engines in midfield that allowed Trent to do what Trent does best, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Rice and Bellingham are both engines.
Agreed?
Yeah.
There we go. So let them do that.
Even Gallagher to an extent.
Yeah, but that's
he is an engine. 100%.
Gallagher as well. Is that if you get to game 3 and it is done, then you can rest and it's like a man-for-man swap. Same player comes in, system doesn't change. You know, if Harry Kane's got his goals and he needs a rest, because we all know that Southgate's not rested him enough throughout the previous tournaments, you can bring in Tony and say, do the same job for me. Or if you need to change it up, then he's got Watkins there to be a different type of striker if we need to go 2 up top or something like that. I always think with an international team that you're taking, you want to take 22 players so that there's a man-for-man replacement throughout every single position.
Yeah.
And then now with 26, you take 1 extra keeper and 3 enigmas that can change up your whole system. And I think for me, what Monts is saying is that Jack Grealish should have been one of those guys. And because he is an enigma, he's different. And then there's a couple of other players, I think, in England that could have been that as well. And that's how you lay out that squad. You know, like we would take someone who can change it up. So maybe back in the day, we take a Crouchy. You know, like Crouch comes on, change this
but that's the thing, Dan. When it comes to the midfield and defense, I feel like you predominantly want to try, not obviously keep everyone the same. I just feel like with your attackers is when you really need. That's the position where you need your most variation.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. By a different player who changes that up.
Yeah, you literally hit the nail on the head. When you want to close out a game. You might want to bring on a Kobe.
I'm not saying he's an attacker, but Reece James changes up that whole England system. 100% changes up that England system.
Has Reece James ever been in the system?
No, but Reece James is the type of. It doesn't matter whether he's ever been in it. Adam Wharton's never been in it before.
Reece James is a game changer.
Yeah, this is
my point, Dan, is there's so many right backs that he's not going to get in over Trippier or Kyle Walker.
Yeah, but he also adds far more to the team than what Trips or Kyle Walker do going forward.
Not necessarily
so when Trippier can... In a game where Iceland part the bus.
Not necessarily Trippier.
Hang on,
Trippier's been shite this year. Let's be real.
The difference is, right, with someone like a Reece James and a Trent is when you get a team like Iceland parking a bus, sitting back, which is no doubt the blueprint now to stop this England team. Someone like a Reece James, someone like a Trent are unlockers. They unlock the gaps that are there. Reece can force that himself in terms of the natural talent that he's got. Trent is so good on the ball. He's got that passing range that I actually don't think any of the England midfielders have. And that's why I think
agreed.
I think they see Trent as a midfielder because of that passing range. They, if anything, you turn around and you say, do you know what? Jude, fantastic player. You had this fantastic season, but I have you already in Rice and I don't have a Phil. But I also need
he's a natural sort of
Trent.
Bellingham.
So maybe you play Trent.
And Bellingham could be a great game changer. Imagine
there's two things.
Foden comes on. We don't have in the games where we're going to be against a team sitting back in a low block. It's way more beneficial having Trent on the pitch than it is having a Bellingham. That's how I see it.
1 second. Did they not have Joe Gomez also? So they already have so many players who can cover on that position. No disrespect to Reece James, he's a great player, but Kieran Trippier has been in the system.
Joe Gomez doesn't.
But come on,
James he's able to play left back. He's able to play left back.
Al, drop your agendas, because
I'm not even trying to have an agenda. I'm genuinely just trying to say my point.
When you're looking at what
you're not even tournament, you already are saying I'm an Arsenal fan.
Moments.
Forget about who I support.
6 games, 7 games, tournament football moments. Reece James and Joe Gomez are completely different.
Listen, 1 second, hear me out. Kieran Trippier has been there, done that, been in the system, can play left back, right back. I get it. Kyle Walker is a specialist at shutting down the top left winger or right winger in when he's playing on that right hand side that comes in that situation. They already have Trent, who's going to be more of a midfielder, and they have other defenders that can cover there. Reece James, because of the injury history throughout the season,
Trippier hasn't been injured. Luke Shaw hasn't been injured. Gal, do me a favor, Like you're comparing Joe Gomez to Reece James,
bro. I am not comparing Joe Gomez to Reece James.
The only reason Reece,
I am not comparing Joe Gomez to Reece James.
You are, though. You actually made that argument.
my main point is he already has 2 players who had played in that position that are also versatile that can help out in the team. Plus, he has a specialist in Kyle Walker, who's one of the more senior players in the England setup. I just don't know if Reece James, there was a space for him in this team.
I think, again, what you're not understanding here is that you're making it seem like we think Reece James is absolutely key. No, what you're doing, Agal, this is what I'm saying. You completely take things out of where they are as a discussion. Not one of us is sitting here saying that Reece James is absolutely key to England having success here. But what we are saying is that Reece James is different and is an enigma and is a change to what stuff it's already got, right? What Daps is saying, a game changer. Joe Gomez is absolutely not a game changer. But if Joe Gomez goes as one of the second centre-backs that compared to what he's taking in Stones and Gehi, and then you take a Gomez, and then exactly, and a dunk, and then all of a sudden,
I'd play Gomez at left back over Trent.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Joe might play at left back, but then no one's going to go, oh, he's a game changer. Joe playing
No. He should be there to allow Trent to get forward.
And then say you're like 60 minutes, it's 1-1, and you go, do you know what? I'm going to go free at the back. I'm going to take off Joe Gomez. I'm going to go wing backs. I can throw on Trent. I can throw on Reece James. I can throw on some of these different type of players. I can bring on Jude. I can take off one defensive player. Or actually, I want to throw everyone forward. I'm going to bring on someone else. This is what Monts is saying. At no point are we going, oh yeah, I want to throw on all these attacking players, but where's Adam Wharton coming on? Do you know what I mean? Adam Wharton isn't coming into that side, is he?
There's one other position that, right, left wing. If we go 2 years ago, I'm pretty certain our left wingers were Rashford, Sterling, Grealish.
Yeah.
None of them are going.
Wow, yeah.
All 3 of them are people, maybe not Grealish so much. To be fair, he hasn't relied on Grealish.
But they could all
at times, he has relied on Rashford or Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling
and they are 2.
Sterling's been unreal for Southgate.
Yeah.
And they're 2. Like, I'll be real. I'm not a big fan of Rashford, and I know he's had a bad season. But if we're talking about something different, Rashford is that.
Yeah.
Sterling is that. Sterling knows how to do the work with Kane and take it in turns to be the one up top. And so
it suits Kane, because then when Kane does drop a little bit, he's got a runner like a Human Rashford. You're right.
Yeah. No, when you look at the issues he's got at left wing, the fact that Sterling's been absolutely just dropped from this England squad would suggest to me that something's happened away from footballing related reasons, because there's still definitely an area in this team for someone like Sterling. And if other players are still getting picked on what they've done for Southgate throughout his tenure, Sterling could be in that discussion. It was only up until 4 or 5 months ago that Jordan Henderson was still in the discussion because of what he'd done. He was playing in Saudi Arabia and the Dutch league. Sterling's still playing for Chelsea in the Premier League.
Wait, so can I ask then? So what's our stance with England? So despite the plays and whatnot, what's our stance on England? What are you backing England to do something?
I'm looking forward to the Euros.
Final minimum.
It's just one of those things.
England's squad is good enough to get into the final 4. It should be there till the last 2 days of the
final. We just miss. Like, I just think as a nation, or maybe as a manager, from a management perspective, we misprofile and misinterpret tournament football. I feel like Southgate's either picking the squad in a major tournament as if it's an international friendly, or we're picking the squad as if it's a 38-game season. That's the stupidness that I keep seeing.
He's still picking players, Monts, that he'll have a look at for the next tournament. Do you know what I mean? See how they are in the group.
And next tournament that he should not be at.
Yeah, exactly, Ty. But that's what I'm saying. He's been doing it the whole time he's been there. He's
I agree with
someone to look at the next tournament. You know,
it's just ridiculous. Even
go win this one first.
The fact that guys like Sancho and Saka and that were picked to take penalties in a final that they don't, where they shouldn't even be taking penalties. It's just stuff like that. Like, bro, and people are gonna say, "Oh, here he goes again about Sancho. Here he goes again, bro." Man are telling me Wharton breaks lines, and you got Jadon Sancho Champions League finalist not in the squad. Please fuck off. Yeah, please fuck off. This guy, bro, it's like genuinely, you have Trent as a set piece threat. You have other guys, you have Trippier as a set piece threat, and you're not taking Grealish. You buy the most fouls on the planet. What are you doing, bro?
What the issue is, right, with Southgate as well, is that someone's always going to have something to say, you know? Like, if Southgate picks the team on form,
I've got Bedford
go,
I hear it, my bro. I hear it.
You know what we'll do? What we'll do, guys, you know what? What we'll do, we'll do a show, maybe Wednesday, give it a couple of days before the Euros, of Chats, Cats and Dats. We'll try and do something to actually actually build up the Euros properly and do like a show where, because we spoke on Eze, we spoke on other things. Let's say some of it.
He's on the plane to England.
Yeah, let's say some of it.
T.I. Jane is on the plane. Take it in, fam.
Yeah, because I've got super chats to get through as well. I've got quite a few, but it's been a great show, by the way. An hour and 43 minutes. We've got 970 here, had over 1,000 during the show for the right reasons and also for football and beef reasons, which you all love. You know, big up Agal and Don. It's all love at the end of the day. Dan's been a great guest. Obviously, big up Monts.
I need an update.
Dan, yeah, Daps as well next to me. Guys, make sure you are liking the video, by the way. A couple of things I do want to run through quickly. Make sure you are liking the video. It's important. Make sure you check in all the other guys' content as well. Big Sixpence, EGTV, Dan as well for Chelsea content. Obviously, Welks is here and there with his content. I know he's got a busy lifestyle as well. Also, for watch-alongs for next season, get ahead of the game. It's going to be on TIFO, so the link is on the pin. So if you want to just register an account, it takes 1 minute. You can get there as well. And also, we're on our way to 25k. So if you are new, please ultimately subscribe and also check out the guys in the panel as well and all their content as well. But yeah, man, you guys in the comments have been sick today. Super chats here, quite a lot I've got to get through. Yang Akbavi and Temidayo are both good players. It's down to preference. They both have Nigerian heritage. Yes, those are their names. Big up, guys. Okay, so he's going with the original names. I love that. I thought you were trying to like prank me with a comment there. Big up, Yang. Fats as well. Love that, bro. Hello, gents. Hope you're blessed. I heard two men beefing over SAKA Elise. Yeah, if you guys haven't watched it and you've just joined, yeah, it started at 45 minutes and it was brilliant content, to be fair. But yeah, it's a good debate. SAKA Elise. And then Ilya says, this is the man who thought that Real Madrid only get one player into a best 11 with Arsenal. Everyone's got their opinion, Ilya. Sorry, Gal. Everyone's just football opinions, isn't it? And then Kingsley, Reece is England's best right back and has been fit for a couple of months now. Obviously, I know he did play against Brighton and got sent off in that game, but just because he got sent off doesn't mean he's not fit. Obviously, he's played some minutes. And like Daps is saying, and Monts is saying, you know, it's good to take some X factors in a squad when it's 7 games in a tournament. And Southgate, you need to try and win something. You know, I look at only France. We're going to talk about it more, but I look at France as the team that are probably ready-made. Other than that, Spain have got the deficiencies. Portugal have, but they've got balance. Maybe it's their time as underdogs. But it's been a brilliant show. I can't lie. For a Sunday, 9th of June, it's been an elite show. I haven't been on for a couple of months, so just to come back.
I've never been on a Sunday on the 9th of June show as good as this.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got my birthday in a couple of days as well. A nice setup here. Daps and Cass, big up them for setting it up as well. So it's good to return home. Big up Monts, Igal. Anyone got anything you want to plug, by the way? Like any shows you're going live today, anything like that? Run it through, man.
No, I cancel my show still.
7:30 as usual.
Yeah, 7:30. Big Sixpence.
We're back late tonight, I think.
Back later tonight.
Do you know the time?
I think 10 o'clock, 9, 10. Around there.
Yeah, perfect. Dan, you live today at all?
No, not today, but obviously coming back strong for the Euros. I'm enjoying my break.
Yeah. You got to re-energize, man. Right, it's been a brilliant show. Get used to this setup as well, and I think we're going to do something ahead of the Euros. Obviously, stay on the YouTube watching our content tonight, and then throughout the week, and hopefully we'll get like a studio special where we will get up to Euros with a proper prediction or rundown on England. Me, Cass, and Daps. If Monts was around, obviously he might come down. But guys, big up everyone that's watched. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe on your way out, and everyone have a blessed Sunday. Thank you.